Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
We're back after a week off. Well, I had a week off. You guys worked for me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You were in the mythical land of Las Vegas.
I was. It's not mythical, it's real.
Oh.
Las Vegas exists, Dave.
Oh, cool. Well, when you do your after-action report on the games and stuff you played there, you can tell us about this fabled city.
Again, it's real.
On the desert.
There are no leprechauns there that I know of.
No. But it's by a magical desert, right?
Technically, yes.
All deserts are magical to me, Randy.
Well, the desert, it is a magical desert because when you emerge from the desert, you find suddenly amazing food, gambling, and legal prostitution. So,
a magical city of vices. Tell me more.
Magical city of vices. Yes.
I've never been to Vegas.
Oh, love Vegas.
That's what they said when they got to Rivendell, right?
Yes.
I think it was Gimli who said, "Where's the slot machines?"
He did. That was famously his famous line. Yeah. I love Vegas. I don't gamble, nor do I go to prostitutes. But I do enjoy Vegas, despite those two things.
Yeah. Well, I know you like the kind of energy there. It's like they've got some good food places.
It's warm.
It's warm, which not presently in Texas right now.
No,
in fact, you came back just in time for our cold front.
I came back for a cold front, which felt like a slap in the face.
Right. Well, I've got good news for you. It was with that wind level. But it also will be gone, I think, in a day or two.
Yeah, I believe we're back to warm soon. Just had to remind me, if you leave, I will be cold towards you.
Yes.
The city of Texas was reminding me not to cheat.
Yeah, don't go off with the magical to the magical lands.
Right. I cheated on Texas with Vegas, and this is what I get.
I think that's where we are.
Yeah, sure.
Where we are. So you think about that. And you got to make things right with Texas.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like,
do I need to eat some chili and put on a big hat?
In Heat
with no beans.
Robert De Niro is telling Val Kilmer he's got to give Texas one more shot.
Yeah, give Texas one more shot.
Give it one more shot. If it doesn't happen, we'll fund you going to Vegas.
So if I give Texas one more shot, theoretically,
yes.
Say theoretically to hope that it turns blue for once.
Yes.
And it doesn't.
Right.
Does that mean Robert De Niro will fund me to escape to California?
No, he was going to come and shoot you. Actually.
All right, whatever. 6 of one, half dozen the other.
Look at me, Randy.
For those who have not seen Heat, sorry about
that was probably pretty
gibberish.
weird. If you have seen Heat,
you know exactly what we're talking
lens
about.
all of it through that.
It's true.
It's a really good movie.
All right, so we're going to be talking about two sort of big weeks of comics, this week's and last week's. We're going to talk about some big news that dropped while we were not recording. Although I think that missed our recording did anyway, so we'll talk about that.
Yep.
We've got some various movies and books and TV that we will talk about. I will talk about why I went there for Dice Tower West, which means we've got some new board games to talk about.
Yep.
And before we talk about all of that, worth reminding again, the clearance sale continues. Still a lot of good stuff on those tables, 50% off.
Yep.
And that we are working on doing a after-hours tournament for the game Heat, Pedal to the Metal, a push-your-luck racing game with prize support from Asmodee. So if you come out and play, especially if you have the game, the top 3 winners will get fancy design new cars for their game.
That is very cool.
Everybody gets a little cardboard like winner's circle thing.
And I know that this game is big. We've sold so many copies of it.
It's one of my favorites.
It's I kind of really know of only 2 notable Formula One games over the years. I'm sure there's been others, but the original Formula D has been around since like early 2000s, maybe the 90s. I don't know. And then, for no doubt that Heat is the new superstar.
Formula D was modern racing as well, and this is specifically 1960s racing.
Yeah, kind of, I think, the original golden age of that kind of racing.
It's got several expansions with different tracks. If you've never played the game and you want to learn it, this will be good. If you want to come out and pwn the noobs, also good.
Sorry, when is the date?
It is Friday, April 10th. We're going to run it after hours, so 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. I will be running it.
Yep. We do need people to sign up.
We have room for 8 people, 2 tables. As long as we get 1 table, we will run it. If we don't, we won't run it. And I'll go home with all the fancy cars. But hopefully
we may be less likely to do this sort of thing in the future. So
we're trying. Yeah, we're trying out. People ask us about games and stuff. I want to start doing like a more of an occasional teach a game, demo a game kind of thing. But I need people to come out for it. So
if you would like to see more of this kind of thing,
here's
or
your
if you
chance.
would like to pwn the noobs, do it.
This is an easy one too because this is a super easy game to learn. Really fun. One of my favorites.
Yep.
it is a good chance to come out. All right, let's talk about games last 2 weeks. The big stuff last week was the dual CCG release of Star Wars: A Lawless Time and TMNT Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
We should still have a fair amount of all of that, I think. I don't think we sold out of anything yet. I mean, we're sold out of a few things in Turtles.
I was going to say, we're sold out of some of like the larger things. I think we might still have Draft Night box.
Oh, okay. But we have the Commander Decks, which has all 4 Turtles in it.
Yep.
We have play boosters. We have collector boosters.
Yep.
You're guaranteed a turtle in every booster, I believe.
I believe that is true.
That's right.
A turtle in every booster, a chicken in every pot.
The art is great.
The art is great.
Yeah.
Lawless Time is... I see that it has like Young Lando on there, and I forget who else.
There's stuff like I see Jabba's Palace stuff. I know it is outlaws and rogues and smugglers and scum.
Yeah. Which is fun.
All that stuff.
And we've got for that one, we've still got pre-release kits. We've got boosters. We've got Carbonite boosters. We have the starters. Which the starters are they Leia and Jabba?
Yep.
And Leia is of course Bouch or Bosch. Or Bush.
Boosh.
Boosh.
Yeah. That's what I always heard.
It is Boosh. Oh, okay.
But I also, I remember it did come up on, like, the Clone Wars cartoons and stuff like that, and I can't remember how they said it.
I think that's right.
So I went to a Star Wars-themed burlesque show in Las Vegas. It was amazing. The narrator, dressed up as Lando, pronounced it Boosh, and I was like, I think that's wrong. But he was right, and I was wrong. So I guess it was wrong of me to throw things at him.
It's risque, and you're going to see some Boosh tonight.
Okay. This week's games, we got the next wave of D&D minis, wave 28 of the Nolzur's minis, which that had some of the ones that they had in this. It was a lot of like
there's like a few demons and things.
There were some demons and things. So we have the Equinal Cardinal, which is that a horse guardian?
He's a horseman.
Yep.
He looks, if you've ever read Power Pack, he looks like the dude who gave them all their powers.
A chameleon.
Except he looks, he looks more ripped. He looks like a kind of a badass version of that.
Oh, a ripped chameleon.
A ripped chameleon is correct.
The Eater of Knowledge, great name. Don't know what it was. Ogre Chain Brute, which I know that mini, and that's a cool mini.
Yeah.
Satyr and Dryad pair. Neogi and the Space Eel. Neogi are those creepy, like, slavers from Spelljammer.
Oh, okay.
They're like, if you think Mind Flayers aren't scary enough, you bring in Neogi. they're like extra special evil. A Hellhound and a Narzugon, which I don't know what that is.
By the way, I've seen the sculpts for these because I put them all out, and they do look very cool. But sometimes when they do the weird stuff, I'm like, how come there's not like a few more Aarakocras or Kenkus or whatever animal you like?
They are onto the weird stuff. They don't like have all the basic monsters.
Right.
It is weird.
And also just do like a Harrington Bard and a fighter and a thief. And,
it is weird.
How about 17 more humans?
I was on Facebook the other day, and it's like, do you want to take Wizards of the Coast little informal poll or something like that? Or no, formal poll. It was like from them.
Oh, it was in tuxedos.
And that was in tuxedos. Minsk and Boo and Boo was wearing a little tuxedo on his little hamster self, miniature giant hamster. Anyway. I took the thing and I mentioned a few of those things in their like sort of suggestions. I was like, the miniature line is actually very impressive, but a little more breadth of PC options would be welcome.
Wizards of the Coast, WizKids are the ones who do the minis.
I know. I said their collaboration with WizKids was doing good, but
pull the license.
Going down the tank. The last 20 years have been a big mistake. Now, by the way, coinciding with this new release, we did do a little bit of moving around of some stuff in the miniature section to grow it.
Yep.
The player characters migrated from those little spinner racks, which I think made it a little harder to tell where to start and where to end. Like, are humans on this one or that one and all that. And they are now where the biggest monsters used to be, and we moved the big monsters to the spinners. I think it's a pretty easy workaround.
It's a good reason. Was that you and Jeanette, your idea?
I think so.
It worked out really good. It looks great.
I think it worked out. There are one of the minor quirky things is like that we're trying out is like we had a little extra space on the spinner racks. And so we put like the new ones on there.
Oh,
so we're going to let them live there for a little while, and then we'll replace them with the next new ones.
See, I wasn't here. I didn't know about this.
Yep, that's a new thing.
We like to keep people on their toes.
We like to keep you on your toes. Also, there was no room for them elsewhere.
I see.
Without a whole lot of moving.
The other ones, the last few, Swarm of Rock Grubs and Rock Grub Victim, which I love.
Yeah.
The original Rock Grub picture
that is together, by the way. That's not like there's two miniatures to cover that.
If you want to build Victim, you got to pay another $5.
Now who's the victim?
The rot grub picture was one of the creepiest things in the original Monster Manual.
Yes. Pretty similar to what I always assumed it was like in the 1980s Flash Gordon when the princess is like, not the boar worms.
Yes.
Except she goes like, not the boar worms.
Yes.
Like that.
Rudderkin and Maw Demon. I know what a Maw Demon is.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Rudderkin is.
I don't know either.
That's new to me.
I seem to remember when I was another one of those when I was putting it out. I was like, "Man, that's a cool sculpt of something I don't know what it is."
And then this is another one I didn't recognize: a Bulazau and Quasit.
Now I know Quasits.
I know what Quasits are. Bulazau apparently are violence-craving Tanari that like goat demons.
Okay, this definitely feels like it's an Infernus kind of thing.
Yeah,
but I just. Or maybe are these mostly D&D or are there some Pathfinder?
These are all D&D.
No, these are all Nosers. Yeah.
And the last one is Drow Mage and Yoklol.
I remember the Yokolocals.
They were Fiend Folio monsters, I believe.
That sounds right. Big old kind of blobby men.
Yep.
Yokolocals.
They are the handmaidens of Lolth.
Right. I remember that. I think it's even like parenthetically after their name.
I believe it is.
The original book.
Yep.
But yeah, this feels like it's for folks that are doing some cool Avernus, or do you say Avernus? Avernus.
I say Avernus.
Okay. Oh. I was just playing Baldur's Gate, and I think they say Avernus.
Do they?
But I don't know.
Well, what do they know?
Just whatever.
I guess we'll have to wait until the live-action show based on the video game comes out, and then we'll know what the official thing is.
Whatever Randy says, think the opposite.
Avernus?
Avernus, actually.
Avernus.
Yeah.
Avernus.
Avernus.
We got a new version of Fox in the Forest, a deluxe version. This is a trick taker. I believe this is a 2-player game.
I think so.
It says it has new illustrations, foil stamping, and acrylic tokens.
Okay.
A good way to get me to buy any game is to do a deluxe version of it. A game called Sea Scroll, which is a quick card game where you're collecting big schools of fish in hopes of scaring off a shark. Fish that aren't in the largest school of their type get eaten.
They're going to teach kids about stuff.
Yeah. Robo Rally Dice, which is a standalone game based on the Robo Rally. You can use the game boards from Robo Rally for Robo Rally Dice. Love a good dice game, too.
Is Robo Rally the one where you kind of program?
Sort of,
robots?
yeah.
So, a dice game is almost always like a faster play take on the same idea, but with usually trying to incorporate some of the mechanics that make the original thing fun.
Yeah.
So that sounds cool.
Yeah. DC Breakout Arkham Asylum. This is a game where you are trying to break out. This was designed by Jeff Engelstein and his children, Brian and Sydney.
I know that when I was looking at it, the art looked like it was the 90s animated series, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not 100% sure on that. But you do get to, choose, you get to pick villains, you get to play the villains trying to escape.
Yep.
It seemed like a very fun idea, and I think it even said, ages 8 and up, it's meant to be approachable.
So it says there are hundreds of possible duos to play, because you wind up with a duo of villains. Mm-hmm. My favorite thing about this is the pitch. You've broken out before, so to make it more interesting, you've challenged your fellow rogues of Gotham City to a race to freedom. We're going to break out again, but who can do it first?
Nice job, Croc.
Gwent, which is the game from Witcher 3.
Okay.
It's a dueling card game that's actually in the world of The Witcher.
I think that's new to us, but has been out for
Yes,
before.
I believe so.
But yeah, I didn't really know about it, and yeah, it's, I guess, the game you play in the games.
A game called Intent to Kill, which is you take the role of a notorious serial killer. Someone else is a detective, and the murderer plans every step. The detective has to collect evidence and question witnesses, and a new murder is committed every round.
Oh, wow. Dark. This game is dark.
It ends after the 5th murder.
And I say this having played Whitechapel, in which you're trying to capture Jack the Ripper.
So if you don't catch them by the 5th round, they win?
Yes, the murderer wins. Oh. That's what it specifically says. If the detective fails, the murderer wins.
This is the kind of ad that would be weird to do in the old school 80s style, I win!
I'm the murderer!
Yeah.
I'm the murderer.
I brought back from Dice Tower West, which I'm going to talk about several of the games. One of my favorite games is a game called Estate Raise the Realm, which is basically you are the noble leader of a great house who's bequeathed an estate after a big war. Mm-hmm. This is sort of a fantasy theme thing. And so basically you start with resources, a special ability, a build of construction, and citizens, a family secret objective, and workers prepared to rebuild. You take workers like worker placement, and you build over 5 eras, which have different things. 3 of them will be good, 2 of them will be bad, and have goals each round. And at the end, whoever wants points, it's a tableau builder. You're buying cards to build things that do things.
Okay.
It reminds me a little bit of sort of Wingspan meets Everdell.
Okay.
And it was really, really good. And as a result, I bought it directly from the manufacturer at the con because it is not going to distribution for probably at least a year.
Oh, wow.
So we have copies of it in store. I highly recommend it. I have a demo copy that I will bring in and show to anybody who wants to see it.
You said Raised Realm. Is that like R-A-I-S-E?
R-A-I-S-E, or not R-A-Z-E.
That's how I originally heard it.
That would be the prequel game.
Shred it.
You raise the realm.
This is Raise the Realm. Like, raise the realm.
You raise the realm so you can raise the realm.
And then in the third game, yeah, it is like a rave, and you...
Rave the realm.
Well, yes, but also still raise the realm.
Yes. Raise the realm, and raise the realm.
Are you saying it's the 3 raises?
Yes.
The 3 R's of realms. Well, 4, I guess, because realm is also an R.
Uh-oh.
5-minute One Piece. This is a 5 minutes are a style of game.
Yeah.
This is a co-op game where you're basically trying to clear challenges, overcome cards in the adventure decks in 5 minutes. You race against the clock, but it is One Piece themed.
Yeah, it's clearly like based on the live action Netflix one.
Yep, for sure.
Lots of fun looking characters there.
The little weird dude. We don't know who he is yet.
Yeah, but if you and your kid or kids are like if they're fans and would like to play kind of a quick, energetic game, this would be almost certainly a good pickup.
And spoiler, none of us have watched season 2
yet.
of One
We are going to
Piece
be coming back to it, though.
We will talk
Randy
about it.
already rewatched the first season in preparation, had a good time.
Yep.
I just started rewatching it, had a good time. We don't know what Nick's going to do, but you are going to watch the second
I
season?
watched the second season.
Okay, yeah.
And then Innis 3rd edition, which is you're trying to become king or queen. You've got...
What is it called?
Innis, I-N-I-S.
Oh, okay.
This is a 3rd edition of the game. We've had it before. This is a new one. But it's basically a king-making type game.
Okay.
All right, let's talk about a billion comics.
Cool. We can go quickly through last week's books.
Let's start... Well, I've got it mixed in.
Oh, my God.
Sorry.
Randy has his own order.
Plan.
Oh, my God.
All
It's going to take us like 3 hours.
We're talking about the 3
Settle
big
in,
ones?
people.
No, these are some cool comics, though.
Let's start with DC's newest initiative, Next Level.
Yep.
Which is taking some of their B and C lister characters, giving them to creative teams that have done really well sort of in the world of indie comics for the most part, and saying, hey, give us your pitches, is what it sounds like.
I think this was a pretty good start.
3 comics this week, and all 3 of them really good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in my order of my favorite to least favorite, which say favorite to only good.
I was going to say we could just do it in any order, but
No.
Randy's got to be like, well, one of these is the El Succo one.
No, one of these is the best one that I think we all liked. I don't know if I haven't heard Nick's opinion yet.
That's true. You have not.
Lobo #1 by the team of Scotty Young and Jorge Corona, a.k.a. the people who did... what's the Haunted House comic we like?
Me Love in the Dark.
Me Love in the Dark.
Love in the Dark. And then they also did that
Ain't
Western
No Grave.
thing. Ain't No Grave, which was cool.
We also did Middle West.
And Middle West.
Right. Ain't No Grave was the one where there was a lady in the Old West who... Would she go into, like, hell because she was dying and she was going to kill the devil
She was
or
going
something?
to kill Death.
Kill Death, right.
So that she would not die and be able to live with her daughter.
Yeah.
It was great. Lobo, I think we were all a little wary because Lobo can be just goofy. And we were
it did
worried.
look like... Well, first of all, it has the logo...
Yes.
Of the 90s, kind of the one-shots where they would do all the crazy Lobo stuff.
Yep.
You know, and he'd be like, bite me, fanboy. As opposed to his Justice League International appearances or Legion 90 and all that stuff.
Well, and Scotty Young has that speed. I Hate Fairyland is very much the kind of thing I thought he might be doing. And this is very similar,
There is
actually.
an element of that.
I mean, it is like the 90s specials.
Despite me not entirely wanting that, I was very pleased with this.
It was pretty good.
It is my favorite of the 3.
Okay, good. We're all on board.
Yeah, I like Lobo, but
I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite of the 3, but
Really?
I liked
Interesting.
it.
well, you're wrong.
Okay.
You know.
There's also some meta commentary I thought was pretty good. These the space movie is a clear riff on Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, right,
Yep.
right.
And he is working for a very clear riff on Warner Brothers.
Yep.
There's
But
some.
this as a framing device, is the story. Lobo rolls up into a space bar.
Yep.
Yep.
And
Triangle.
finds out, like, he's like, what are those Bastiches like watching over there?
Yep.
What's got them all into it?
Yep.
And he is like, he starts ripping people to shreds left and right.
Yep.
Like he's there's a lot of funny references in there. He does recap his history, which was very cool.
And it includes
everything.
The 90 series. They even make reference to his sort of Twilight era from New 52.
Yep, his handsome boy version.
You won't even mention that.
But it's really, it's very funny how he goes over it.
It is clear that Scotty Young is a Lobo fan, a long-time Lobo fan.
I feel like everybody kind of knows Lobo speak, Fraggin this and Bastich that.
Yep.
But there's like one or two ones he used in there that I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
And I thought Scotty Young might have made up. And I thought they were good ones.
He didn't say Fetal's Giz anywhere.
He did not.
That's true. Well, give him time, Rainey. It's only one
I will say, by the end of this, there is a really good hook.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of
not just the one that Lobo used to tear people's faces
That's
off.
true. There's 2 hooks. No. But the story that Scotty Young is constructing is interesting.
Yeah. Same.
And I'm curious to see how that fits within the confines of Lobo and his
it's, without giving
ego?
too much away, Bounty Hunter people think like Boba Fett and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But there's also Dog the Bounty Hunter.
There is.
And I believe they're riffing a little bit on that.
And
incidentally, his pet dog is also in this.
Yes.
And the
used
Space
very
Dolphins
well,
are
actually.
the Space Dolphins are visually referenced, although not talked about.
By the way, when we get to it, Emperor Aquaman is supposedly going to go. He's going to go into space or something, is what I've heard. If he does not have an encounter with Lobo's dolphins and communicate with them, then I think it's a huge missed opportunity.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll talk to it more when we get to Aquaman.
I think there was more to this here than just kind of a funny aside book.
I mean, it is, but it's not like a deep book.
It's not a deep book, but it's
a fun book.
But it's more than you would expect from just a typical Lobo book.
Right. I didn't think I wanted this, and it was clever enough that it won me over.
So, Dave, is your favorite the
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite is. I'm just not 100% sure it's Lobo yet.
I see. You don't have a favorite.
Were you a fan of the original series?
Deathstroke? Mm-hmm. I was. Was that Stephen Grant, Steve Irwin?
Wait, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was not. I don't think it is. I thought it was Paul Kupperberg.
No, I thought maybe you're right. Oh, I think he's right. I think it was Paul Kupperberg. Yeah.
Of Deathstroke the Terminator?
I think you're right.
I mean, the Punisher at Marvel was
it is in fact Paul Kupperberg.
Okay.
Stephen Grant did write some of it later.
And didn't Kupperberg also do Checkmate?
Yes, he did.
Right,
yes.
and that original series from the 90s had something in common between the two of those.
Oh, actually, we may both be wrong. It might be by Marv Wolfman.
Marv Wolfman originally did Deathstroke the Terminator.
It was Marv Wolfman.
Oh, was that most of its run?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Kupperberg did do some of it.
Okay.
And Steve Irwin did do the art.
But it's not the crocodile guy.
No, not the crocodile.
Irwin with an E.
And now, if we haven't said it, this is the other series, a new Deathstroke the Terminator book.
Yep.
It's being written by Tony Fleecs, whose indie stardom began with the Strays.
Yep.
That was the one there was one of our big books for the year that was about the kind of Disney dog-looking dogs.
Yep.
Who realized that the guy who cares for them all in a house kind of overcrowded with dogs.
Yep.
Might have been a serial killer.
Yep.
And because they have short doggy memories, they were like, oh yeah, I did used to have another owner. This guy came to the door one time and then he just walked out with me. I wonder what happened to my old owner.
Yeah.
And they start piecing together that maybe he killed him.
Yep.
And it's a doggy adventure against a serial killer.
Yes.
Very good, kind of harrowing, but it's good. And he's got his other book, Strays. That's kind of his zombie animal story with cats, where there's some sort of ultra strain of rabies going through these cats. And so it's kind of, again, an animal perspective book, but this one with a zombie vibe. And now here he is on Deathstroke, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a very focused issue.
So I like this take that basically Deathstroke is... It's narrated mostly by Wintergreen, his major domo. His
longtime aide de camp.
As he's out doing actiony stuff, and
he is on a mission, and while they talk, there's both business but there's also personal stuff that's creeping into the conversation. It's not unlike, and I'm sure this was how he was conceived originally, it's not unlike hearing Alfred talking to Batman. It's very close to that. He's kind of a butler type guy who was also a badass.
But also, this feels like a John Wick, an assassin movie type thing. Is he's doing a lot of badass stuff. Nobody can stop him. Security's scared of him. But
I like that part where like he's like the client like wants it quiet, and he's like why do you hire me? He's like maybe I need to get some better clients that pay more and be flashy again. Maybe he's like I need to blow some shit.
He's
up.
like tell the client he's going to be disappointed.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
By the way, this opening splash page, oh my god,
gorgeous.
That art is so
this
good.
Is Carmine
Giandomenico,
who has done I forget where I've seen his stuff before.
And I don't know him, but
he's done some stuff
before.
You're gonna like how this guy draws Deathstroke.
It's really
cool. If
cool.
you like Deathstroke, you're just gonna like it. That's all there is to it.
There's a couple big splashes. There's a splash where he's like blowing up a building.
Yep.
Also, the bad guys they use here were fun.
Who are these characters?
They
that
are
were
from
known?
Birds of Prey, I believe.
I believe that's
Is that a Chuck Dixon creation?
It is a deep cut.
Yeah.
But kind of a fun one.
A good fit.
Yeah, I thought they might be that, and it's. I think it's a good grabber of a first issue.
Agreed.
There is something I didn't like about it.
Yep.
Me too.
But it's also something that they actually put like a question mark on. Like,
we're all going to give him a chance.
Is everything you see here, or like, did you see what you thought you saw?
Yeah.
But I also thought you got a good rundown of Deathstroke character. You got his sort of like back history with his daughter.
Yeah, if you've never read if you're a Deathstroke fan, you'll like this. It's pretty badass Deathstroke.
Yeah.
If you've never read it, it tells you everything you didn't know.
It did.
And actually, same with Lobo.
Yeah.
In fact, it almost feels like it could have been an editorial saying, "Hey, this is for the fans, but also for new people," because these all kind of like bring you in. They don't drop you in the middle, except for I feel like Batwoman does kind of drop you in the middle. It doesn't give you a lot of backstory on
I
who
somewhat
Kate
disagree
is.
on that.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I did not read Batwoman. Batwoman was not a book that I read back in the day. I liked, was it J.H. Williams' art?
Yep.
And I like Greg Rucka as a writer, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
And the sort of the recurring battles between her and her psycho sister, who was kind of this evil Alice in Wonderland kind of chick.
Yeah.
But crime lord kind of person too.
Yep.
Just didn't interest me. But this story, which clearly has its roots, you know, back in the day, Rucka walked away from DC for a time. Well, I won't get into the whole history, but he walked away from DC. I think this was kind of the story he was going to do next, or something close to this.
Yeah.
Because
so I do want to say, I'm not saying it's not approachable. It's very approachable.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of surprised they didn't get into like her military, but any of the stuff that makes her.
That is true.
Is not in here. Whereas Deathstroke and Lobo really give you like a full.
Well, yes, but they also
view.
didn't like tell you about how Deathstroke got his powers.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
But anyway, but you are kind of also right too in the sense that like I do think this is a slight weakness among writers at the present. They sometimes just assume you just know all the powers and everything and the how and why. I just recently read the trade paperback of Jeff Lemire's Absolute Flash.
Yeah.
And it was pretty well done, but as a criticism, I'm like, they don't really ever just say what his powers are.
Yeah.
And I know we all kind of know what Flash's powers are, but this is the absolute version, and I expect him to have some differences. I'd kind of like to have heard a little bit about from Barry Allen, who was one of the head scientists of the program, a little bit more about, we have this program that agitates your molecules but under your complete control and, speeds up to... I don't think they ever said how fast he could run, whether he could vibrate through stuff. They just... The cool stuff about Flash. I kind of wanted to know more of the cool stuff. So anyway, though, Kate Kane is
she's cousins of Bruce Wayne.
She's She's cousin to Bruce Wayne. I think she usually was a socialite. She was
She was one of the three big families of Gotham, essentially.
Yes.
The Canes.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
The Canes, the Waynes, and the Cobblepots.
Oh, that's cool. Here, when this begins, very much in kind of a Rucka tradition, but a little unusual setting. It's set in Greece.
She's like a mental health retreat, or
yeah, that's exactly right.
Maybe there's some implication of maybe self-harm, or maybe she's been beaten up on people. I don't know.
Yep.
But she looks like beaten down.
She looks beaten down.
Well, I mean, there's a reason for it.
Yes,
there is. And all is not quite as it looks like.
Correct.
Right.
But you see essentially her opening therapy session, and she's not looking good. She's not looking good. And then through that, you kind of get some flashbacks to what was going on. Her issues with her sister. And I don't quite want to say there. It turns out, and I think this was probably a known thing at the time, though. The thing that her sister was ultimately in service to, there's a legacy of that will continue in this.
Yeah.
And it is a kind of a neat DC Universe tie-in that goes back to I think the days when Rucker was writing this 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of an interesting... I think it's a neat through line. I think it's a cool bit of DC lore to resurrect. And this issue, it also... I feel like it's a showcase for the artist.
Yeah.
The artist goes by just one name. She goes by Dani.
The art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It really is.
We've talked about her a few times recently. She's an artist who draws in what I would say is a style highly influenced by Sin City.
Yeah.
The early good Sin City, not the crazy later stuff. And works with the great colorist. I think Matt Hollingsworth is on this. And, Sin City, of course, was famously in black and white. But you can use that style with color if you've got a good colorist who knows what they're doing. And Matt Hollingsworth knows what the hell he's doing.
Oh, I didn't say it was Hollingsworth on color.
I think it's him.
That guy's a legend.
He's a legend. And so my complaint with this issue is that I just kind of wanted a little more meat to it.
I agree.
It is a visual showcase. It will tell you what the central new dilemma is, who the new threat is, and kind of how Batwoman was kind of approaching it.
I would say if I'm comparing these three, which again, all very good books.
Yeah.
Deathstroke and Lobo leave me feeling like I had a little bit of a meal. This feels very much like the appetizer, the lead-in. Right. I want more of all of them, but I feel like I get more out of that first issue. But there's no doubt it's going to be good.
I was so into the art too that I was, and I think the promise of sort of the unusual setting. I don't know if it's going to continue to be in there, but I think in an interview I saw that it was going to be set in Greece, so at least in the opening it's going to be set there, which is kind of a cool.
It does have a pretty spectacular final page.
Yeah, and there's some creepy dudes here wearing these ancient Spartan, not Spartan masks, but it's creepy Greek, looks like from a mask from a play or something like that looks scary.
Yep.
I think the threats she'll run up against will be interesting.
I always like the idea of Bat family outside of Gotham.
Yeah.
And this is a cool setting, and
Joker did the thing in Europe during Tinian's run, which also had, of course, Gordon running around in Europe, and that was all really good.
The more I think about this one, the more I liked it. So
it's a good first issue.
Yeah.
All three of these are worth picking up.
Overall, it's pretty impressive that to launch an initiative like this with 3 winners.
Yeah. And I'm looking for the next wave, which has Fury of Firestorm, Doom Patrol. We know Legion's coming.
Yeah, they're actually all ones that I'm interested in. Oh, Legion is part of this line.
It's going to be one of the next level ones. Yeah,
next level.
Yeah,
next level.
And then going back to the phase 2 of All In, where everything's getting new story arcs out of.
Yeah, just kind of new story arcs on almost every other DC book.
There's New Titans number 33, which this should be a new number 1. It is renaming it from Teen Titans to New Titans, a completely different lineup, a new creative team, but they kept the same numbers. This was not what I expected, because these characters that are on the cover, they're on the last page.
Oh.
This story is a time loop story featuring Nightwing and the classic Titans as they keep waking up and having...
Titans as in Starfire and Cyborg and all that?
Yep, Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, Beast Boy,
Donna Troy.
Yep. Donna Troy, and whatever Arsenal's name is.
Speedy.
At that moment.
Basically, it's they show a coffee pot. They're all having coffee, and then one of their classic villains breaks in. They beat them, and then they go up and see the moon, and then the same thing keeps happening every day. Yep. And Nightwing is the coffee machine is talking to Nightwing and telling him to stop drinking the coffee.
Weird.
And so it is all a time loop story until the end when our new characters show up. I am fascinated by where they're going with this. I did not expect the classic Titans to be in this book.
Yeah.
But the new Titans that they've got on the cover are John Kent. Who's the daughter of Wonder Woman there? It's Trinity, Terra, and Spoiler. And as a team, I'm that sounds interesting to me.
Is that the Terra who was in Power Girl years ago?
I think
not. Or the
not.
Terra who was from original OG Teen
Titans? I think it's sort of classic Terra.
Who controls rocks and shit.
Yeah, who controls rocks and shit. I believe the new Terra is just a Palmiotti and Connor character who
character insert,
slotted aside, yeah. But, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's a really interesting first issue. Sentry number 1, Paul Jenkins, the creator of Sentry, returns for a sort of a little bit of a moody piece about the weird dichotomy of the Sentry and the Void.
It is dark.
I didn't know this whole... what I remember about Sentry, the original miniseries, was sort of the wall-breaking thing that he had been erased from continuity. And so we're seeing things like he was the Hulk's best friend, but we'd never heard of him before.
Right, and he was Reed Richards' kind of like compatriot in science because he was also like a super scientist guy.
So they're going back. This is a little fuzzy on continuity, but basically, like the hook of this is that every good thing the Sentry does, the Void does something equally evil, which I hadn't caught that exact vibe.
I didn't know it to be quite that, and maybe that's just an evolution of it.
But it's an interesting notion.
But it's crossed with a sort of a he's back. So you see him at like press conferences with like the Avengers clowning around with Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's kind of like, if I had to say, like, you know how like the movie, what was it, Thunderbolts?
Yep.
Very much was about like sort of dealing with depression and mental illness and stuff like that. This seems to be like returning to the idea of like kind of dealing with something, you've done something bad and you can't even tell people about it to begin trying to redeem yourself.
Yep.
And it handles it pretty seriously. It begins by talking about that dog they sent up into Russia.
That was depressing.
Into space.
That was a depressing thing to learn.
And the dog just dies in space.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and he's like fixated on it. I'm like, I hope his dog that he does have doesn't die.
Me too. But the interesting thing about this is the Void is actually doing evil things, but in the service of something kind of good.
Right.
He's bullying Wilson Fisk.
Right.
And I think there's going to be a little twist of sort of like the Sentry's actions aren't necessarily all good, and so the Void is balancing it out by doing some good.
Right.
And I think that's interesting. But it's
I'm
a
curious
strange...
to see where it's going.
Yeah.
The Void is a weird character, of course. He's, broken Superman.
Am I the only one who read Dead Teenagers #1 from Oni?
Yes.
This is really good. It is the Speculator Book of the Week. It will probably be gone when you get here unless you email us to set one aside. It's a time loop comic. Y'all know I like my time loops. I
remember you talking about how much you hated that Star Trek Next Generation time loop episode.
Yes, I hate that one.
Was it just because that was like introducing it to people and they overplayed it?
Because they did it poorly.
Okay.
I like well-done time loop stories. This is a well-done time loop story.
All right, Groundhog Day.
Takes place on prom night 1997, and whatever happens, they get murdered. This scenario 7105 that starts it is a giant lizard shows up at prom and eats everyone.
So and I guess you just said scenario what?
7105.
What is what's a scenario in this?
Apparently it's happened 7,105 times.
I see.
So this one starts, it's on page 2.
Yeah.
It's like a giant lizard, and then she goes through the characters and talks about what happens. Like, one of them always dies first, one always dies ugly, one of them saves somebody, one of them dies in hiding, and then it comes with a weird, like, computer screen that says, do you want to keep going, yes or no? And then it seems like they're talking about, like, maybe they've been through this loop enough that they all know about it. But then they do, like, a drunk driving one, and it's like, they've been dying multiple times in various teen ways, and there's a twist at the end.
Okay.
It's a really interesting setup. I'm curious to see where they're going with it.
What's it called?
It's called Dead Teenagers.
Cool. I remember that.
Yep.
But presumably, when this does sell out this week, because it's like the Buzz Speculator book, they'll do a new printing. So, but yeah, keep an eye on that one.
For the record, the reason we sell out of these books is because people don't tell us ahead of time, so we can't order based on knowing there's going to be interest.
Well,
and that's part of why they sell out, is people find a book that's going to be lower ordered and jump on it. We can't order every indie book and hope that it might sell 50 copies.
We do, like, in any given week, there's probably like 5 to 10 smaller press books, which we have ordered to varying degrees based on trends and patterns in our customers. And maybe 1 or 2 of them will be the one that sort of speculators jump on hoping to flip them.
But there's no way for us to know.
We don't know which ones those are going to be, so unfortunately that is a problem that will persist.
Yes.
If you want to get in early, though, yes, message us, call us. The earlier, the better.
Use our online. Well, I can't use the online site for things. You have to pre-order things.
Yeah, if you are like a subscriber, you have somewhat. You can come on, do the website and order stuff through that.
Yep.
But other than that, yeah, get in contact with us, and that'll help you get your hands on them.
Exactly. Thundercats times Silverhawks Road to War. There's going to be a Thundercats Silverhawks miniseries. This is the one shot that introduces pit them against each other, I guess.
That makes sense. They were, I guess, I always, even as a kid, I don't know why, but I knew that they were kind of linked. It was like the same animation company and stuff. Like, I didn't know who created a cartoon as a kid.
Why would you?
But they both had cool openings and sort of middling animation that didn't quite live up to their openings.
Yes,
for everything else.
That is correct.
But they were kind of cool settings. I liked both of them, and so it makes sense to cross them over.
Super Creepshow. They did a one-shot of this. This is a mini-series. This is basically Creepshow, the twist horror stuff, but all superhero-themed. There's a Kieran Gillen story in here and a Ryan North story in here.
That's pretty notable.
The Ryan North has art by Derek Charm, who did some Archie stuff. I won't give too much away, but the opening one is a Spider-Man theme, and the second one is a take on super speed I've never seen before. Okay. So if you like horror and you like superheroes, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Jump back to last week's number ones a little bit. Imperial Gardens number one. Guardians, not Gardens.
Right.
This is the new Guardians of the Galaxy spinning out of the Imperial miniseries.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of interesting because, although there is some Guardians of the Galaxy energy to it, very different kind of mission statement, and they're reporting to a much higher level boss than they ever have.
It's got exactly one Guardian in it, and that's Gamora.
Yeah.
It's written by Dan Abnett, who did co-create the the
current Guardians,
and art by Marcelo Ferreira, which is really nice art.
I really like this book.
I did too. It's a team led by Captain Marvel. Kind of interesting to see her in sort of a space leadership role. Features Braun, a.k.a. Amadeus Cho, a.k.a. Baby Hulk, in a Hulk and Iron Man suit. He's also got an Iron Man suit.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there.
Dark Hawk, who has played as sort of the D-lister trying to make good.
Yep.
And Cosmic Ghost Rider, who we're not sure why he's in the present and not the future where he comes from.
But there is this sort of thing where, so they're working for it when things tumbled out in the big sort of galactic sort of civil war that was going on recently in Marvel. Star-Lord ended up running.
He's the Emperor.
He's like the Emperor, and heading up some kind of union is Maximus, from the Inhumans, often called the Mad Maximus. He was basically the crazy brother of Black Bolt. But here he's reined in a little bit. He does seem still a bit off kilter.
He's sort of if Star-Lord is the president, he's kind of his director of national intelligence. Yeah. Or what was Nancy in West Wing, Nick? She wasn't director of the CIA, right? It was National Security Advisor. He's basically the space National Security Advisor.
Yep.
And Guardians are sort of his Black Ops team.
Yep.
And I think, Dave, you and I both bristled at that idea when we heard it described.
Right.
But it's done really well here.
Yep. And they immediately, of course, do not trust him.
Yep.
And one way I think I think this was sort of the framing device. They're like, you guys are going to record journals so we can kind of keep up on, our thoughts about what we're doing and stuff like this. But basically it means you do get those sort of things of narration that are the characters journaling a bit about themselves, how they're feeling about the team. It's a nice change up. Instead of just doing the internal thoughts, you have that sort of format. People have been used to this since The Office, and anything else where people kind of talk directly to the camera occasionally. Yep. But I think it's really well done here. Dan Abnett, I think, knows sci-fi universes better than just about anybody. Yep. What I forget. I don't know if we want to say what threat are they up against in this first issue?
It's sort of Renegade Kree.
Oh, that's right.
With a weapon of mass destruction.
Yep. It's a good issue. I liked all the weird personalities. Oh, and I know the reason I mentioned the journaling thing is it's clear that there will be a little bit told through flashbacks and things like that as we kind of find out how the team got together. I'm sure we'll get some more on Cosmic Ghost Rider.
It's almost like interviews in a reality TV style.
Yeah.
I didn't read this one, but you guys talking about it, I didn't know about the Maximus thing. I didn't know they were working sort of for the new.
It's really good.
It's an interesting concept.
If you should read it.
If I had been here last week, this would have been my pick.
Okay.
Also from last week, X-Men United #1. The X-Men Shadows of Tomorrow relaunch continues. This is Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde running a Mind Palace school for mutants. Mutants who have the telepathic key can get into Gray Matter Lane, where they have basically, a danger room and all kinds of things because it's all telepathic.
Now it's not. I mean, Kitty isn't a telepath. Why?
No, you have to have the telepathic key.
Okay.
So you don't have to be a telepath. The telepaths create the school.
Okay.
And everybody can get there
the
virtually.
Telepathic key is just something where I would be able to make some little mental projection and be allowed in.
Exactly.
I see.
They learned from Krakoa.
I don't know what telepathic keys are.
from Krakoa having a place that can be destroyed, they decided to say, screw that.
And it's
I
got
don't like the idea of Ghost School, but that's interesting enough. And also, I think just probably the dynamic of these people who have often been in conflict with each other, Kitty and Emma, even in the best of times, they don't really like each other. Kitty, I'm sure, remembers that when she was just joining the X-Men, the Hellfire Club were trying to kill them, and basically got Jean Grey killed originally. So they've always had kind of a fun antagonistic, and now maybe like frenemies relationship.
Yeah. This is the creative team and the characters from Extraordinary? Exceptional X-Men. Yeah. So it's the Axo, Bronze, and Melee and Rift and Sophie Cuckoo, who were the members of that. And they weren't also NY. I think they brought people over from NYX as well.
Also Prodigy from New X-Men.
Yeah. So those guys have become student mentors, so they have a new class of students. And then Prodigy and Laura and some of the other characters from NYX and Extraordinary Extraordinary Exceptional. Sure
Exceptional.
They are the teachers.
Okay.
So yeah, this is the school book for X-Men.
Yep.
Alias Red Band. Alias returns with a new creative team.
That is Jessica Jones.
Yes, Jessica Jones.
For those of you, because that was the original comic was called Alias, but the character probably is best known for the Netflix shows where she was just called Jessica Jones.
And they didn't call it Alias because there was a show called Alias.
That's right.
But this is by Sam Humphries, art by Borges. I don't know what the first name is because it's a Red Band book and I can't open it.
We can't open it.
So
is it good? Is it bad? We don't know.
But it has it has a very pretty David Mack cover.
It does.
Yep.
Comics the Magazine #1 came out last week. This is a comic-sized magazine that's like $5. I think it's the cost of it. Oh, it's $3.
Oh, that's really good.
It is. They are aiming to be sort of the modern day Wizard, in the same sort of Wizard in its time really was. Everybody was reading it.
Yeah,
you got a lot of
kind of beloved, energetic, kind of trashy, a little trashy.
Yeah.
Book. And this has some of that same kind of stuff. Like I feel like there's fan casting and there's top 10 lists and there's interviews. The key interview of which is about Absolute Batman.
But in the same way that Wizard bridged the gap between people who only read Marvel, DC, and stuff like Image and Valiant.
That's true.
Wizard helped elevate indie comics up a bit. Comics Magazine is kind of the same because their cover feature and their first feature is a big interview about Absolute Batman from not just the writer and the artist, but the letterer, the colorist, the editor, and the executive editor. So it's like a whole, like, how did this come to be? How did you make it? There's also a Absolute Catwoman interview with as a preview with Shea Grayson, the artist of that, and the artist Bengal.
That's going to be fun.
There's a riff on Hostess Fruit Flies featuring Poyo from Chew by the Chew creators. There's going to be a Chew comic, a one-page comic in every issue. There's an interview with Ronda Rousey. There's a story about Rick Veitch's Lost Swamp Thing ending. There's a roundtable with Tony Fleek, Scotty Young, and Kyle Higgins, who all are doing next-level stuff for DC, and all have their own successful indies books. There's one about a smaller indie graphic novel called Blood of the Virgin. There's a brief history of fanzines.
It does seem like the kind of thing where like somebody might pick this up and you might be able to enjoy, you might focus on the Marvel DC stuff, but you might also like be like, oh, that little indie graphic novel they profiled, that's cool. Do y'all carry that? Like,
yeah,
if it did that, is there like a little how to draw thing in there?
There's a how to draw thing that is how to draw pouches, a little tongue in cheek,
right, a little tongue in cheek,
but it's also good. It's like standard fantasy sci-fi pouch on a pouch.
That's pretty good.
Zdarsky telling you how to draw a pouch?
No, it is not that. It's an artist named Andy McDonald, who is a New York-based artist.
Oh, okay.
Also, they are doing their comics picks, so they've got some picks for March. They have a price guide of sorts from the site Shortboxed, which is like looking at some of what the hot books are to sell right now if you're selling at graded comics, which is another throwback to sort of what Wizard did. They had a price guide.
Yeah, they did.
I think, we've talked about this before. Wizards obviously couldn't keep up with the internet.
Right.
And like you can find out on the day information breaks, there'll be a story about it online. Yep. But at the same time, kind of having all the fun feature articles and stuff in one place.
Yeah.
There is something to that, and a lot of people I think pick this up to give it a try.
This is not the same thing the internet does. This is actually not as important to be timely.
Right.
It is like it's digging a little deeper. They do also the back.
There is kind of just a sense of like we're going to have some fun with this.
At the back, they've got their top 10 titles, their top 10 publishers, top 10 artists, top 10 writers. Which again,
all very arbitrary but fun.
It says they are based on pre-order and subscription data from 60,000 consumers across more than 500 comic shops.
That's interesting.
They use data from
I thought it was actually just completely arbitrary.
No, they are using data from point of sale from Managed Comics and Comic Shop Assistant, which means our sales data is in there.
Yep, it's interesting.
So yeah, I mean, obviously they're fudging it a bit. We all know the data's a little sketchy on the comic side.
But that means that your purchases could change the course of Mighty Rivers.
Sure.
Well, I don't know about you guys. I had stacks and stacks and stacks of Wizards.
I had a bunch of Wizards. I really enjoyed Wizard.
But I was
Dave is a Hero
magazine man.
Oh, you were the connoisseur.
That's right. That's right.
Hero magazine was Overstreet's attempt to compete with Wizard, and it was actually better.
It was. It was a little less trashy.
Yep.
But I had some Wizard magazines too.
But I gotta say,
liked my trash.
Comics magazine, a monthly. It's gonna. This first issue, they had a printing issue, so they got out the second week of the year. But the goal is to be the first week. Every month, you get the new Comics magazine. I think it's worth picking up. I was pretty impressed with it.
Based on just seeing last week's sales, I mean, people picked it up.
Yeah.
People kind of like this idea. I think there's a...
You know what? I feel like there's an energy right now that I haven't seen very often.
Yeah.
That is a good... people are excited about single issues.
Yep.
Marvel and DC are kind of having some fun doing these crossovers again, so it sort of feels like the fun 90s. There's really big buzz books like the Absolute line or Ultimate line at Marvel. The movies, of course, are big too. Like we actually are getting the movies that Wizard could only dream of in the 90s.
It's true.
So... but anyway, it feels like this is a good time for this to come out because I do think there is a certain... I don't know quite how it all happened, but there is a sort of just excitement about single issues in comics right now.
Yeah. Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. This is by horror writer Hannah Rose May.
It's like the thematic sequel to Exorcism at...
1600.
1600, yeah.
This is, I don't know if it's in the same world. I think it is just it's a standalone story. Right? I don't think it's tied into that one.
I think this guy has it basically like some kind of the wastrel kind of gambling, low character member of the royal family, which, that could be anybody.
Yeah.
But like the guy who's particularly low on the list, I think something happens with like a bunch of the royals get killed and he's next in line for succession. And there is also like some sense of there could have been supernatural events.
So Hannah Rose May also wrote Rogues Gallery for Image Comics.
Oh, I liked that one.
I did too, and wrote Guy in the Chair for Dark Horse, which I quite liked.
Those are both really
good. So yeah,
books.
she's a good writer, and I believe she's also done some movies. So she's a horror person.
Okay.
She did the Smile book too.
Oh, okay. She's definitely.
Speaking of which, this is all the IDW Dark, their horror line.
Yeah.
Which is a mix of licensed and non-licensed. Their other licensed one from last week was A Quiet Place, Storm Warning. This takes place during the initial invasion of the aliens from Quiet Place. Is written by Phil Hester, who is a really good writer. And
he's best known for his art, probably, like he did the Green Arrow that Kevin Smith did.
But he wrote a bunch of stuff in the 90s, 2000s that was excellent.
He is a very good writer.
As an indie writer, he's known.
Didn't he write and storyboard this?
He did.
He did. And then the finished art is by Ryan Kelly, who is a very good artist.
Yes. And this has a kind of a neat premise.
Yeah.
They always kind of focus in all the Quiet Place movies on how fast these creatures move in and just kind of decimated our cities.
Yep.
But this takes place in this small town in Mississippi that's like on a lake or on a river.
They're an island.
It's like an island. Yeah, you have to like get there through a series of various bridges, and they have heard just enough on the news to know there's these creatures. They're taking over everywhere, but they know at least that they can't go in water. Yeah, so they're like, if we blow these bridges,
the fire chief,
safe.
The fire chief is trying to convince everybody to blow the bridges, and they're all thinking he's crazy.
Right, and there is a question of like, is everything we're hearing on the news accurate?
Yeah.
And like, because if it is, then we have to move fast.
Yep.
And if and it follows the kind of the drama in town, the infighting amongst the people at like city council meeting and stuff like that, as they're trying to figure out real fast if they can survive this.
It feels very Stephen King-ish.
It does. Yeah. There's an interesting set
of people. Not all they're things align
under high pressure.
High pressure,
and with monsters coming.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a good first issue.
It's a really good first issue. My only gripe is that I wish the monsters were drawn a little differently, but the problem is those monsters are such a weird design, they really only work in motion.
I kind of think that's true. Yep, I think so too.
But I will definitely read the second issue of this.
Yep, it was a surprisingly good book, and another notch in the belt for their horror line. They're doing a good job.
We also have The Other Half, which is basically a gay Thin Man, Nick and Nora type thing.
Yep. For people who don't know, the Thin Man series was several movies about a husband and wife detective in like the 1930s, I think.
Yeah, how do people not know, Dave? It's only 100 years old.
And
they're really fun.
They're really fun. They're essentially kind of lighter mysteries, but where they drink a lot. That's almost a gag. If you try
to lighter, but they are still like solving murders.
There's murders. Yeah, for sure.
It's just that the vibe is that they're quipping with each other, and they're funny and they're clever, and they've got a cute dog, and they're just like sloshed the whole time. Yep. If you try and keep up, you'll get alcohol poisoning. That's how bad it is.
Yep.
But they're very charming movies. And this is this is like the queer version of that. Seems like a fun idea.
This week we have Invincible Universe Battle Beast number 1 through 6 back in just in time for number 7 to come out. The break is over. Battle Beast is back, and so is a thing I can't really say on this podcast.
Yes, there's a crazy page in there. Now, when I made a sign for this, I didn't read the full issue, so I don't know if this is in there. But like, my understanding is the big thing that is this story arc is that the Viltrumites, from like people know Invincible,
they're lurking in the background,
are coming. It's not huge in this issue yet.
The main in this is that they're back on the planet of this prince, and Battle Beast is maybe going to help him reclaim his world, but
I kind of like that in this issue, Battle Beast gets kind of pushed to the
background. He got beat up real bad.
And it's mainly our prince and the computer who was at the beginning trying to kill Battle Beast.
And still kind of is.
But she's growing a kind of larger personality.
Yep.
And has a physical form.
Has a physical form now. Yep. She's no longer a ship.
Yep, and a connection to the prince.
I was really glad to have this back. It was kind of just a silly, fun adventure. Throwing the Viltrumites is going to be interesting because.
So real quick, you Invincible. I haven't read enough of Invincible or seen it.
Yes.
I don't know how big a spoiler it is, but like in the main series, Battle Beast got cacked, right?
Yes.
So the whole series is always going to have to be a flashback by necessity, unless they're going to somehow reveal he regenerates or something.
He gets killed by a Viltrumite,
right?
One of the big ones.
Is he able to kill them? Can he hurt them?
Yes, but not. I mean, the battle goes on for, I think,
Battle Beast beat the crap out of Invincible when he first met him.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so he is a level to match them.
Yes,
but
not the specific Viltrumite.
Yeah, but this is but apparently he tangled with them in the past, aka this series, and we're gonna see that.
Yep. Absolute Flash starts a new story arc this week with a lot of interaction between...
There's a cool cover on that.
Yeah. Absolute has a lot of interaction between Wally West and Ralph Dibny, who runs the kids' home where he stays.
Yep. One of my favorite things when I was reading the first graphic novel was that, and I don't know if people know this, but like Elongated Man and his wife, who themselves were like the Thin Man.
They were Thin Man Riff,
basically a husband and wife detectives.
Yep.
They were a backup feature in Flash back in the day.
Correct. That's why they were also big in the Flash CW series, which is why they're linked with the Flash, and the Dibny's being in here makes sense.
Am I correct that Firestorm also had a link? He was like first appeared in Flash backup
I believe
stories?
that is correct.
And I know he's been Ronnie Raymond or something was name dropped in some of these at least.
So there's also a name from Flash's more recent past shows up in here.
Okay.
Hunter Zolomon is a
that
DEO agent who's looking for Flash.
Okay.
And then also Linda Park is another kid at this home who she and Wally have a lot of sort of back and forth flirting, and she finds out that he's the Flash. There's some really
he's pretty young in this, like 15 or something.
Yes, and so is she. They also are introducing another major rogue in this one. It's a really good issue. I wasn't sure about Absolute Flash at the beginning. It has definitely won me over. It is probably my third favorite Absolute book right now.
They haven't hit the second collection of that yet, right?
No, we're about to. I believe it is a week or two out.
I'm looking forward to reading that since I just read the first one and like seeing where it goes.
The DC All-In Phase 2 stuff continues this week. Superman Unlimited, which with Superman missing after KO, there are different Supermen in all the books.
Yep.
This one is a new character. We see his origin. Well, he's an old character in a new costume.
Yeah.
And we see that all explained in this one single issue, which I really liked. And I like the new costume quite a bit. And there's also a big last-page twist.
For the last several issues of, like, what comics is Superboy in? Is it mainly the Superman comic, I guess? But he has been talking to Mixus-Pitalik. And Mixus-Pitalik has been telling him that this, like...
Not Superboy. John Kent Superman.
John Kent Superman, yeah. John Kent. I'll just call him John Kent. Mixus-Pitalik has been telling him that there's this dangerous threat coming. He is not... Where Mixus-Pitalik is 5th dimension, this is a 4th dimensional demon. But he kind of has like a Mixus-Pitalik-like name.
Yep.
And this is the issue where that confrontation occurs. And you find out, like, why he is linked to John Kent.
Yep.
And then there's some really big things that happen.
Yep.
That if it is what it looks like, I think this may make a lot of people happy.
I really like this, and the thing at the end, I'm like, I hope that they may have found a way to have their cake and eat it too.
Yep. Yeah, I know we'll talk more about this reveal.
Yeah.
Probably just next issue when it comes out. And the secret's well and out there. But it's pretty big, and if you if you've had some fandom for the Superman universe, you may have a stake in this reveal.
Now, I've only read one issue of Dan Waters' Nightwing. I know people are enjoying it. This is another one of those story arc jumping on points.
Yep.
The art on this is gorgeous. Is that Dennis Cowan? It says Cowan.
I haven't seen him in a while. Is it his style?
He may have updated his style. Yeah, this Dennis Cowan with Norm Rapmond on ink. That's an interesting trait. They work great. This is so beautiful. I'm looking through it. It's got this sort of noir vibe. Really nice colors.
That's cool.
Also by who do they call it? Francesco Segala.
Okay.
People have been really enjoying this book.
I did not give this a read because I was running out of time, but this looks interesting. I might give this a look. It's really nice art. Supergirl was from last week. This is the Hero of Kandor story where they went. That was last week, right?
Yeah,
it was.
And
it's sort of the culmination of a mystery, or not quite the culmination, but a big part of it. As Supergirl goes down into the bottled city of Kandor to investigate something, she's really hoping that her frenemy, what's her name?
Lesla,
that her friend isn't like too embroiled in some bad stuff going on down there, and there is like some cool investigation going on, and she's fighting some creatures that are loose in there, and she does find out that what's going on with Lesla, or a big part of it, and it's pretty big for that book. And there is a fight in this. There is like a full-on brutal fight between Supergirl and somebody else, which, I've described this book as kind of a cozy book before, and it is. Like, that is the overall vibe. But this is an issue where it is like a bit of a tooth and nail fight for, like, I don't know, like, I feel like a dozen pages.
Worth noting also that Sophie Campbell returns to doing art on this.
Yeah, super good art.
Emperor Aquaman. This is a new take on Aquaman where he is now going to be the Emperor.
I'm not quite sure how that goes above King. He's usually the king of Atlantis. But does Emperor mean he gets all the seas?
I guess. I don't know.
The one thing I knew from like just reading up a little bit on this, and I haven't read the issue yet, is that I do think that not in this issue, but in issues to come soon, he is going to get into space. And again, writers, you better have Lobo's dolphins in there. If you don't, what are you even doing?
Dave is very, just.
Now, I actually think it's a cool idea to send him into space. I think that, I'm interested into, I hope he visits. You remember they did that storyline in Catwoman when Brubaker was writing it, where she toured the DC cities like Star City and Gotham and Opal City and all that. I want him to go to some of the different planets for some mission. I don't think this is the premise.
Well, it closes out basically. He says that their connection to the blue, which is I guess the connected seas. He's like protect the seas of not just this world but all other ones as well.
Oh wow, okay. So Emperor of like all water,
Emperor of water. He has a little bit of extra power coming off of DCK.
But get this guy to let's see the oceans of Thanagar. Let's see the oceans of Oa. That kind of thing. That if there is something like that, that's pretty cool.
In the wake of DCKO, Guy Gardner is some kind of like spiritual leader of the Green Lanterns.
They are rehomed to the planet Oa.
Yeah.
And he is like that's why he's wearing that robe. You know how the Guardians always wore them?
Yep.
He is wearing that, and I think rather against his will, there's a group among the Lanterns who are venerating him on an almost religious level.
Yeah.
And he's still Guy.
Yeah.
There's also members of all the different color spectrums there. So there's some sort of unity between them right now. You'll see who's the big guy, Vilius Vox or whatever, that big old floaty head from the Red Lanterns.
Yep.
Like he's there. And just hanging out, not Atrocitus, but he was like second in command or like his henchman anyway. Anyway, I don't know exactly what the story is in this, but yes, it does have something to do with.
It sounds like the emotional entities are missing somehow, but they're also talking to him.
Yes, he's having weird visions.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting take.
Oh, by the way, the art in that was also super good.
Yeah.
Like, it's so detailed, it's crazy.
I wondered if Firefly was there. He is.
Yep. And then let's get on to the other stuff from this week and last week. I think most of the stuff is from this week. It's a good week. A lot of my favorite books came out this week. G.I. Joe number 20 has Duke and Optimus sitting down together.
Yeah. This is like kind of, it feels like it wasn't, and it has in fact been years in the making.
Yeah.
Duke's whole goal has been to wreck Transformers since his buddy in the first issue of Transformers got killed by Starscream.
Yep.
He has been like unreasonable about this.
He's been consumed by it.
But he started like last issue he found out there's a Transformer on the team.
Yep.
That this Jeep that Clutch is driving around is Hound.
Yep.
And now he's like, Hound is like, as a show of good faith, he's like, help me out, let me connect with my boys again, and we'll go and talk you to Optimus, which Duke does not know. Can we say what happened in the last issue of Transformers
Which
now?
was also last week and also really, really good.
Oh, maybe we should. It's a big
recent.
thing. There is a big thing that happened to Optimus.
This all pays off really well.
It's a great meeting.
And also, there's some funny stuff when they get done with the meeting, and Hound and Clutch are basically making fun of them.
They are guessing what is happening in the meeting.
Yeah.
Fairly accurately.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious.
I love this personality that Hound has.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Matt Tracker and Mask stuff is in here.
Yep. It is, and it's also cool. Oh, there was a dope ass opening where that's part of it was a cliffhanger from the previous issue where Scrap Iron, one of the Cobra big bads shows up to kill Matt Tracker, head of Mask, and he's got like this giant armored missile laden like 4x4 truck. With the big monster truck. I mean, like and Matt, of course, calls out his thing, and there is a badass opening chase sequence that will ultimately connect with some Joe stuff too.
By the way, reminder that Clutch in this book is so good.
He is. He in a kind of in a similar way to how he was a scene stealer in the original early G.I. Joes.
Yep.
He is a really good character.
But I will also say this has a finale that kind of connects up to something we've seen before.
Yep. Some of those mini-series that have been going on, it connects up now.
I will say, anytime G.I. Joe Transformers comes out, especially G.I. Joe, it is always at the top of my pile.
Same.
It's such an entertaining book.
Yep.
I think I mentioned this before. Even though the writing Josh Williamson does is very different from Larry Hama's writing, he does do one of the main things that Hama was great at, which is every issue is going to give you multiple different fun things. You're going to see like a G.I. Joe main mission. Sometimes you'll see a little side mission going on. You're going to get some Cobra infighting and like the Cobra politicking.
Yeah.
And like sometimes now links up with Transformers. Like you always feel like you got like a really good little meal with it.
I also say Andrea Milana is doing a really good job.
Art's fantastic. Yeah.
There's a splash that has Optimus and Duke,
which is really
just
good.
Like dang man.
Yep.
I know. I like they earned that double page splash for sure.
Oh yeah.
But also like there is a part of me that's like, I know that the artist sometimes will sell these things on an aftermarket. That page is going to go for a mint, and deservedly so.
Well, also,
again, they earned it. It wasn't just cheap.
Yeah, no, it's great.
He also draws just car battles and chases in such a way that it's like it's not boring. It's not static. It's very kind of.
And that scene at the very end, that's kind of like after the meeting, is a really good scene.
Yeah, it's a McKay Tuesday. And then we have a Jed McKay, Mark Spector Moon Knight number 2, which reveals, I don't know if Daniel's reading, is Elvis reading this?
Yeah, I am.
The reveal of who the bad guy is, and the sort of recontextualizing him was really good. As an old school Moon Knight fan, man, I didn't expect that to see that coming. Also,
I haven't read this yet.
References the Charlie Houston run, which I don't like, but McKay respects all the runs.
He's played ball with everything that came beforehand, and really, I've been telling people whenever they're asking about it that his run kind of is a synthesis of all the best stuff, and like that sounds like it could be a mess, but I think he does it really
it's
well.
fantastic.
Also just making Moon Knight scary.
Yeah, Moon Knight's scary. The villains don't want to mess with him. And I got to say, like, part of that, Charlie Houston had a little bit of that crazy, that was his main thing. Yeah.
And then, what do you call it? Warren Ellis, I'll always have to give him credit for this. He had the great line where Moon Knight says he wears bright colors because he wants his enemies to see him coming.
Yeah.
He's like, he wants to scare the shit out of them.
The other McKay book is X-Men number 27, which Maxine Danger is from the Beyond Corporation, is from Spider-Man.
Oh!
I forgot that's who she was. She was running that when Ben Reilly was Spider-Man during the Beyond era.
Because it was not the woman who had taken over Grey.
No, that's what I thought she was. She's from the Beyond Corporation. She has put together an anti-mutant unit that is made up of people without powers, but they're all manipulative, psychotic masterminds.
Oh.
And so this issue
you don't
goes...
want to put those people together?
This issue goes... Oh, it's probably not going to go well. This issue goes through and gives sort of the flashback to each of these people as she interviews them in prison and then brings them onto her team. And then it sort of shows that they were manipulating the X-Men and what they're trying to get them to do. It's a really good villain issue.
No, that's cool. This is just the latest regular X-Men comic,
yes,
right?
Yeah. And then this shows what's going on with the X-Men as they're confronted by these people. It's been fun. They're called her Danger Room. Okay. That's what she's calling them.
Jed McKay continues to, I think, have a good handle on the X-Men.
It's a very Morrisonian take.
Speaking of X-Men, Cyclops number 2 hits this week.
Right, it does. That's
and
right.
that kind of fits in with there. And I actually really liked the second issue. Basically, him versus the Reavers. They
did something cool in this. This definitely, this is a writer who both acknowledges that the Cyclops kind of has a stick up his butt, but that's often his case, but that he is, the guy.
Yeah.
And so there's a thing where, he was in a Quinjet that got shot down in the woods, and he's being hunted by Reavers now, along with a newer mutant who he kind of meets up with.
I like her, actually.
Yeah, I do too. And she had been part of a group that was enslaved by the Reavers doing some mining operation where she doesn't know exactly what they were mining, but they start to get some ideas in this. But the kind of interesting thing is his visor got destroyed in the crash, and they're not able to recover it.
So he's essentially blind.
He's got the thing he does sometimes where he just makes a blindfold out of some cloth just to kind of keep his eyes shut.
Yep.
But I'm like, oh, but he's kind of been neutered and stuff. But it's like, no, he there's this great line in it where she's in danger, and her power, she has super strength, but it actually fades when she's scared. So she's actually tough. It's tough for her in a fight. She can't use it most of the time. And she's about to get jumped by this Reaver, and Cyclops kind of comes out of nowhere and wrecks the dude. And she's like, how did you do that? And he's like, I try and plan for every scenario. He's like, actually very high on that list was fighting in a jungle without my sight, or whatever.
So he plans for everything.
He's practiced for everything, yeah. They gave him a little bit of Batman, or they have lately. And so he's kind of a badass, even though he is essentially fighting blind in this.
Captain America number 8, this is the third part of the Doom Shadow story. They're really doing some interesting stuff with Cap and Latveria that's now fallen with Doom.
There's a trio of factions vying for it, and he's interacted with all of them.
Because he was sent in with a special SHIELD unit, and the SHIELD unit's off doing another thing. This is a complicated espionage story, and it's working for me. I'm really liking it.
The opening thing where Thunderbolt Ross is like, hey,
trying to bully his way to the president.
Totally hawkish.
Yeah.
He is like, we need to go in right now and take over these weapons, or somebody else is going to get access to them, and we'll have Doom round 2.
Yep.
And they're like, and he's like flashing his red eyes, like Red Hulk style.
Yeah.
The guy he's talking to is like, he's like, that doesn't intimidate me. He's like, you've been reassigned, get out of here.
Yeah, that was great.
And then you're like, oh, he's going to go rogue.
Yeah.
And he does, and that's very interesting. But one of the most interesting things in this is just one of the supporting characters, the two of them flirting.
Yeah.
What's her name? Red Widow or something like that? And that one guy?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a complicated flirting because
Zdarsky does good character stuff here.
This guy is like, he's like, wow, he's like, the way you moved out there was really amazing. And he's like, it was almost like beautiful how you fought. And she's like, no, it's not beautiful. They did horrible things to make me do this. And he's like, still the result is impressive. And you see it does actually kind of get under her barrier a little bit, and then there's a little light flirtatiousness.
New issue of Mortal Thor, still really enjoying this. This has Amora the Enchantress, and she interacts with the goddess Artemis, I think. Not a Norse goddess, but... and we're following Magni, Thor's son, and he has a...
Thor's son?
Yep. He has a little friend called Blackjack Rabbit, who feels like he was maybe supposed to be Rocket Raccoon. and maybe Rocket's over in Guardians or something else. But
he's not like a version of like Brer Rabbit from Folktales.
No, he feels like a mix of like that rabbit from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And like Rocket Raccoon.
Weird. I wonder if that's a bit of lore I don't know from old Thor stories.
No, this is definitely something new.
Oh, okay.
But the two of them are like going around trying to deal with the loss of his father and that kind of thing, and who's in charge of Muspelheim and wherever the frost giants are. Niflheim. Is that Niflheim?
There's like two places. There's Niflheim and there's another one too.
What starts with a J?
Jotunheim.
That's Jotunheim.
Because it's like Giant Land.
But there's some interesting interplay going on here as he's doing his thing and Amora's doing her thing, and I'm really liking the sort of peace moving that Al Ewing is doing in Mortal Thor. And then over on Infernal Hulk, we've got.
Man, I need to read that issue. I forgot to.
Infernal Hulk throwing down against the One Above All,
which is kind of like angel,
god, angel, something.
But it is like the big bad from the series, right?
No, One Above All is the one all below or whatever was the bad guy.
This is kind of like
this is like a godly
other side of the coin.
Okay.
Yep. And Bruce and Betty are still like debating whether or not they have to be involved in all this. It's a really good book. I'm really liking Infernal Hulk.
So this is like Hulk versus an angel?
Yep.
Okay.
Kind of.
But crazy angel?
Yep. Crazy, powerful, ripped angel. Lucky Devils, the Charles Soule, Brian Brown story of devils who are guardian devils who are supposed to be tempting their humans but are actually trying to make them better, and that's causing problems in hell. Lots of fun, lots of hell politics, lots of goofiness. I noticed these guys, their name for their company is Silent E Productions. Because Soule's name ends with an E, Ryan Brown's name ends with an E. They're both silent.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
I like that.
X-Men Apocalypse #3 by Jeff Loeb and Simone DeMeo. Any other single issues before I get to from last week? Sirens #2.
Love Hurts.
Yep.
#2.
This is fantastic. There was a bunch of fun stuff in there, but I will say, among other things, let's see, Black Canary picking out a dress for her wedding.
Yep.
And Green Arrow, I think, insisting to, or no, it was somebody else. Maybe Nightwing saying he's got to make sure it's a sleeveless gown so she can show off her arms, her guns.
Yeah.
I noticed Harley Quinn in a very horny state throughout this.
Yes, horny Harley for sure.
About like every girl that they pass or whatever.
Yep.
And just a really fun issue throughout.
We got a lot of second printings this week.
Hang on, I'm not done.
Oh, sorry,
I got
more
some stuff. I happened to read this week's Amazing Spider-Man.
I meant to read that. I forgot about that.
It's really good. You should.
Okay.
It is the one that is the most of a continuation, I think, of Carnage.
Okay.
And it's Charles Soule is writing.
This
the
is part 3 of Death Spiral.
Part 4. Yeah.
Part 4 of Death. Oh, right.
Because of the special.
Right.
And I don't know exactly, but big stuff happening with Carnage. Basically, Pete and MJ and MJ is Venom.
Yep.
Are like, they know something's up. They know that Carnage's father has been, Eddie Brock's dad got killed by the serial killer Spiral, and they are like know that Carnage, who's Eddie Brock's current incarnation, or he's currently merged with him, was there. They basically, everybody is kind of getting up to speed on things, and they're like, did he kill his dad? Did this new killer Spiral kill his dad?
Right.
His dad was abusive, and that was like kind of part of what made Eddie Brock the hardened person he was. And so there's like some really good character beats in this. Some good stuff between Pete and MJ. A cool fight with Torment. Anybody who was reading the Carnage stuff needs to read this issue. It's really good.
For me, I think the highlight was the Pete and MJ stuff.
Yeah,
I liked.
Pete's still kind of a little off. He's still not. Yep. He's still kind of being a d-bag, but he's not as overt about it. He's a little more normal in this. I think Soule is doing a better job than some of the other writers.
Agreed.
And last, I just wanted to mention there was a new printing of this thing called Phoenix: The Untold Story.
Oh yeah.
And it's just a reprint of the issue where Dark Phoenix dies, but with the original ending, which had been penciled even, where there's like about 6 pages that are different, where she was going to live. The short version is that the Shi'ar were going to take away her powers. It would still be a kind of a tragic ending because it would be like losing such a big part of who she was. All her powers would be gone. And this reprints the full story with those pages in there and colored and everything. And honestly, the final version was better. But if you want to know how the story of it, this also includes a roundtable interview, Randy, that was like... It's funny because the intro to this kind of downplays the infighting. It's kind of like, oh, there was some crazy stuff happening in those days, and not everybody was on the same page. But then they did a roundtable that had Jim Shooter, John Byrne, the editor, Jim Salicrup, and Chris Claremont, John Byrne, Jim Shooter, and Salicrup as the main ones, and a few other people too, like Terry Austin, the inker, who I guess would sometimes have story input, was in there. And it's them all talking about how it came to be, why there was a last-minute change,
right,
and sometimes snarking at each other quite a bit. You can tell they're not all on the same page. I actually think Jim Shooter, I kind of came away with a bit of more respect for him here. It felt like he was wrangling them pretty well, and even he was kind of wrangling the interview. He's like, we'll occasionally do he's like, I've talked enough, let's hear from you guys. Terry, that was an interesting idea you had. Let's hear what you had to say. But he is stuck on a certain point, and John Byrne is thick-headed on some stuff, and Chris Claremont was pretty chill about it, but you can also see his issues. It is a fascinating, somewhat messy interview between them all. So
okay, that's kind of cool.
Anybody who has any interest about this should pick up Phoenix the Untold Story.
Now, second printings.
Yes.
Absolute Green Lantern, Flash, and Martian Manhunter. The early issues.
Reprints of all of them?
We do not have... I don't think we have all the issues of any else Absolute book right now. Even with all these there are holes. We're closest on Absolute Batman.
As we've been able to get.
But we're missing a few. But we do have a lot of them in this week. I believe there's a new Arkham Special got reprinted.
Yep. With multiple covers.
Yep. So there's a lot of that. We have a new printing of Iron Man #1 from last week.
Yep.
We have Dorc #1's third printing this week.
Yep.
As well as White Sky #1's second printing. So if you missed one of the two hot Image books, those are both back in this week. Invincible Universe Capes #1 gets a new printing.
Mm-hmm.
There's also some trades, as always. From last week, we have TMNT Volume 2 versus New York City, which wraps up Jason Aaron's run on the book. We had the Punisher Welcome Back Frank, the Marvel premiere, like the $16 version that's got the entire 12-issue series. Dave, I know you're rereading that one right now.
This is the Preacher team. It was Garth Ennis and his artist, frequent collaborator Steve Dillon, who we lost too soon, but did some amazing stuff in his time. I had kind of, the Punisher Max R-rated run later kind of felt like really what Ennis would wanted to do. But this was his kind of more anarchic, a little bit darkly humorous, more like his Hitman on DC stuff, take on the Punisher. And there's a bit of goofiness in it, but it is so readable. It's just very fun, goofy, violent, Punisher, bringing his tactics to the mob, and sometimes messed up humor.
Yes,
that's all I can say. Yes,
he does punch a bear.
He is. There's a point where Ennis occasionally does make him not too superhuman, and just a few people, he's just like, oh, they had more firepower, and I got shot a couple times, and I'm hurt, and he runs into the zoo, and they're chasing him through the zoo, and he doesn't know what he is like. Has no weapons at that point, and he's like, they follow him into this pit where there's some polar bears, and he goes up, and the narration is he's like calm, docile, beautiful. Can't have that. And he just walks up and just punches a polar bear in the face and gets it riled right as the bad guys, of course, come bursting through. And it immediately lops the head off of this dude in a way that only Steve Dillon can do. You see just this big old bear paw, and the guy's head is just flying through the air. It has been a very entertaining read, so I'm going to give that a recommendation if you like that kind of thing.
Fantastic Four Volume 1, Save Everyone. This is the restart of Fantastic Four by Ryan North and Humberto Ramos. We got a big old Elseworlds. That was the one that
started with that very cool storyline where they're all lost in time.
Yes.
That was such a cool kickoff.
Elseworlds Batman Omnibus Volume 1, a big giant hardcover with... it's got a ton of stuff in it, but it includes the Batman vs. Jack the Ripper, Batman as Green Lantern, Batman battling Dracula, a Frankenstein riff called Castle the Bat.
I had that. Bo Hampton or something, I think, did the art on that. It was good.
Appearances from Catwoman, Robin, Houdini, and an Apocalyptic Brotherhood of the Bat.
I like that Houdini one too.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff
from
in here.
Howard Chaykin that I kind of liked.
There, Robin 3000 is one of the other ones there. That was another one. There's Year 3000 Robin. It's another weird one that was good. I think it was Paul Craig Russell. Or,
yep, that's exactly right.
P. Craig Russell.
P. Craig Russell.
Yes, I was like, but there's, it's a good collection of a bunch of stuff, including some of the Elseworlds annuals. Batman Holy Terror, which is a fantastic one-shot.
That's my jam right there. It was one of the first ones that they did, and still one of the most uncompromising ones I've ever seen.
Yep.
Batman versus a theocratic America.
Yeah.
It imagines an alternate timeline where like one of the big religious leaders in the past, instead of getting killed, went on to kind of come to the new world from England and remake it as make it as a theocracy. And Bruce Wayne is like a priest in training who finds out that his parents were killed by like this state-sponsored assassination, and that there would be other heroes, but they've kind of managed to stop them all before it happens.
Yep.
And to use and manipulate.
Beautiful painted art by Norm Brayfogle.
Yeah.
Also, the Blue, the Gray, and the Bat, which is the Western.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great collection. Yeah. And then this week, coming up, we've got the Lore Olympus Tarot deck. Really nice art. You said you looked through that.
Yeah, I was looking at that yesterday. Lore Olympus has, of course, it's a webcomic with really amazing, beautiful art. And this is not the webcomic artist who's, I have to say, great at sequential art. So what they did is they got an artist who does, like, kind of amazing tarot-style poster-ish art, but uses the same color palette and, of course, designs as it. So at a quick glance, you'd be like, oh, this looks like the comic exactly.
Right.
But it is laid out differently. It is these beautiful standalone cards. So I think Lore Olympus people will be into it. I think tarot people will be into it.
Yep. We got Star Trek Discovery Omnibus, all the various Discovery-themed comics.
Well, that means it includes the one with Who's the Cat? It's what's cat?
Grudge.
Grudge is in there. Grudge got a really good story.
Yep. And then the third volume of the Ultimates by Deniz Camp gets a trade this week.
Yep.
That's everything I got on my list. There's definitely more. It's a big
week.
Couple weeks.
Thanks for staying with us, but I think you will find some great comics among the ones we just described.
All right. Well, we did just about an hour and a half just on comics and games this week. So we're going to be right back, and we're going to talk about some movies, TV, a game convention, and a couple bits of news. All right, just the one trailer to talk about. It's kind of a notable one. That is a Dune Part 3 just dropped.
Yep.
I saw Dune Part 2 and I was a little disappointed after being really blown away by Dune Part 1. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know if I'm interested in this. And then the trailer really reinvigorated my interest.
Yeah. I liked the second one. I think both the Dune movies are solid.
Yeah, I think they're pretty good. They definitely like Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
He definitely had a vision of it. It's a pretty solid reflection of the book. And this is kind of interesting because it's getting for Dune movies, except for the Sci-Fi Channel versions, it's getting into uncharted territory.
Yeah.
Which is to say, the original David Lynch movie, and then the from the 80s, and then the newer pairing, only went up to basically Paul kind of throwing off the shackles, basically taking over the planet, the Empire.
He was a hero.
He gets to have his heroic moment of taking over, and now we kind of see what comes next.
We don't get to see the war criminal version.
It's not great.
You know how let me just see if I can bend your minds to it. Sometimes there's wars started, but you don't know what the results are going to be. You might think that it'll just be kind of one and done, but then the war has like repercussions.
Interesting. You like what if you're invading a desert, some kind of desert place,
right? And you think it's going to be easy, and then it's not.
Yeah. What if it's been done for like a long time ago and before it keeps happening? And it keeps happening, and people seem to have forgotten how it works. Yeah,
well, Dune is here to try to remind people about not to make those same mistakes.
Sounds like fiction.
But it is a story about Paul making that mistake.
Yes.
Actually, Paul is almost more like, if you want to imagine if Iran had an uprising, and then it got bad for them, too.
Yeah.
So it is a weird kind of inversion of the expectations.
Already know the outcome of all this? Doesn't he see
That's
it?
The thing. He sees it, and then he does it anyway.
He does it anyways. For reasons.
Yeah. He knows if he thinks there's any ability to change any of that.
I think there is an arrogance of like he's going to change it. Yeah.
Right, because he's like the Kwisatz Haderach.
He's the Kwisatz Haderach. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But anyway, so in this trailer, this is one of those kind of montagey trailers. You don't know a lot of what's going on, but he and Zendaya, aka Chani,
Chani
are talking about their upcoming child and who they'll name it, whether they'll name it after, or if it's a boy or a girl, we see some new creepy-looking Harkonnen albino motherfucker.
That was his subtitled name.
A lot of battles.
There's a lot of that chanting that's like that they were doing with the Sardaukar troops.
No, those guys were throat singing. This is different.
But no, but you don't think it's like, are they the same?
I don't think this has a dude who's like angrily chanting. It's a different vibe.
Yeah, but it does seem like it's some kind of war chanting.
It does,
right?
Yes,
but it's not the Sardaukar.
Okay,
Sardaukar do like the throat singing.
You don't think they can do like some other kind of
No, they only have one mode.
No, Dave, this would be like the Beastie Boys doing electronica. Oh wait, they did that.
What if when the Sardaukar were going to attack, they started singing Sabotage?
Yes, that'd be great. Then it would be a JJ.
You know when they would charge? It's that when the part when they go like, "What?" That'd be that. That's when you charge.
Yeah. You could set that trailer to Sabotage.
You could do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's some cool looking battle scenes, and
it says the conclusion, which is interesting because there's like 8 more books, I think.
Right.
I don't think Denis Villeneuve wants to do 8 more.
I'm not convinced he wanted to do 3. I think this became successful enough.
I think this was actually always his vision. If it did well enough to, like, the second one was going to happen no matter what.
Yeah.
The third one was like if they did well.
And I guess it
did.
But
I think he did always want to do the third.
Did either of you watch the show on HBO?
I did not.
You know what? I watched about 20 minutes of it, and I just was not feeling it.
I guess before the third movie comes out, I might rewatch 1 and 2 and then watch the show.
Is it like the Bene Gesserit in the past?
It is in the far-flung past. It's like the sort of... Well, I say that. I'm trying to remember. It's like...
Because what's your name?
Does it show Paul's mom?
I thought Rebecca Ferguson was supposed to be a main character in it.
Is that the chick who plays his mom?
Yeah.
Dune Prophecy is, let's see, it's on the origins of the Bene Gesserit, so it is 10,000 years earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, you know how like Warhammer stole a lot from Dune, including, I believe, the 10,000-year time jump. Essentially, Warhammer had the Horus Heresy where things went bad, and then it's been 10,000 years of Dark Ages since. Dune also jumps ahead essentially 10,000 years in the future.
And it's bad still.
And it's still bad. It became another feudalism sort of thing.
Nick, this has Olivia Williams. I know you like her.
I like Olivia Williams a lot.
Maybe someone should check it out. But yes, I think it'll be interesting because this is necessarily, it feels like it's a kind of a tragedy, but it's a kind of a can Paul stop the kind of what was referred to in the book as a jihad.
Yep.
But I think they decided to call a crusade in the movie to avoid the sort of incendiary language.
Yep.
But it kind of is no matter what you use. That he cannot stop the what do you call it, the Fremen from spilling out and taking their fight to other planets in the books. I don't know how the movie is going to handle it. They did change some things, like in the second one.
Yeah.
Like I think I told you, like in the books, Paul very much does allow that myth of the Kwisatz Haderach to propel him forward when it's useful, even though he knows it's invented. Yeah. In the movie, they had him say, "Yeah, my mother was part of this program that seeded this so that so I could fulfill a prophecy." And then they did show you still have the people like, who's the guy who was the hardcore believer?
Oh,
Shigur guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Great actor.
Yes.
Dave, his name is on a shirt that you have. You should know his name.
Is it?
Yeah, you have a shirt that's got his name on it.
Do I?
Yeah.
What is his
I don't remember. I don't know his name. It's your shirt.
You're talking the character's name, not the actual actor.
Oh,
the character's name.
That is a different character name.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that
the character
Jemis, that character.
Oh, it's not Jemis. Okay. Javier Bardem's character.
Javier Bardem's character. Yes.
Did he die in the end of the second one?
He did not.
Okay. I did not see him in this trailer.
I thought I saw his.
Okay.
I think I did too. I think he is one of the leaders.
Well, the trailer was very dark.
It was very dark, and we watch it in a room with a little too much sunlight in it to see all the dark stuff. I think we also definitely saw Jason Momoa
Yep.
His character, I believe, resurrected.
Yep, which is a thing I knew happened.
It's a thing. It's like I forget. They call them not golems or ghouls or something like that. I forget how, but it's one of those two words.
Is his name Duncan Montana?
That's right. He just keeps on moving the states.
Yeah, every time he's
Duncan, Texas is his third reincarnation.
It's kind of like it is kind of like a clone, but there is like a sort of like some weird quality to them. Like they're not 100% on.
Stilgar is the name of
Stilgar. Yeah, I think we are going to see Stilgar as one of the almost in a way more powerful than Paul in this because he's going to be leading them as they decimate whole other planets. If they show that, they may change it up.
I feel like we saw some of the decimation in this trailer.
Yeah,
there was lots of...
Probably so.
You know what I did not see? Sandworms.
It's true. It's very Shai Hulud short.
That's sad.
Now, it's pretty rare that you get a movie story that's about somebody, a big win of like a underdog character who overthrows the evil empire, and then things go wrong. You almost never see that. So if this movie is what it promises to be, it could be quite groundbreaking.
I mean, it didn't work out great for Luke Skywalker.
You know, that's just because they had to repeat things in those movies to appease the fans. And also that there is some creative limitations. Give him the same as before, but a little different.
I don't think
this is something that what's his name? Oh my God, who wrote these books? Frank Herbert. Always intended to do. He was like, Paul was always going to have to deal with the problems of winning.
I don't think Denis Villeneuve makes happy films, so I feel like this will go in the kind of direction.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is our preview for the day. What else? What are we?
The other big bits of news come from two Joss Whedon creations.
Oh, right. Yeah, pretty big.
So
one bad, one good.
On Friday, it was revealed that the Buffy reboot that they were talking about that was going to have Sarah Michelle Gellar as like an older Buffy, kind of mentoring a new Slayer.
I thought it was a lock.
It was the pilot was done. They finished the pilot, and then Hulu said no. Apparently, one executive at Hulu said no because he'd never been a fan.
Now, is this something that like another studio is going to take a look at since there's a pilot done?
I don't know. But here's the thing: the property is owned by 20th Century Fox and therefore Disney and Hulu. I mean, Disney Plus and Hulu can't be that separated, right? They're about to merge the whole thing. Yeah. So I think this executive, unfortunately, just put the kibosh on the whole thing.
Yeah, bury it like that. What was that? Batwoman.
Yeah,
Batgirl.
Yeah,
Batgirl. Yeah.
Batgirl. Yeah.
God, that sucks.
It really does because the Buffy reboot had like the person who they've got in the lead. I can't remember who it was, but she's somebody who's really good. And Chloe Zhao was wrote and directed the pilot. Like they had a lot of names.
You had an Oscar winner do it.
I've heard some people say that the script wasn't so good, and I'm like, I don't care. We've had bad pilots before. There's no reason not to go give this another shot.
Firefly, which we're going to get to in a second, famously
had two terrible pilots actually.
Well, they were. It was like a good episode, but they like played the stuff out of order, and they picked a not great one to start with. Like people should have at least enough patience to give something a shot if it's got some good promise.
Didn't they pick the train robbery?
The train robbery was made after the pilot. Because they were like, the pilot, they addressed all the complaints they had about the pilot. The pilot, by the way, once they showed it, was great.
Yeah, the pilot's
and the train robbery is a good episode.
Right.
But, yeah.
It's not a strong first episode.
A lot of people discovered Firefly late. I like to remind people that I was on board from the beginning, as was Dave.
Yep, we were there from the beginning. And we thought the Western sci-fi was cool. But some people were just like, huh? Like, they got pew-pew spaceships, but they wear a cowboy hat? I can't accept it.
We were never fair weather fans like you people came to Firefly late.
Yeah, that's right.
I, too, was at the beginning.
Yeah, next with us.
That's right.
Anyway.
The rest of you, it's all on your head.
Firefly, famously canceled by Fox. Yeah. And then they managed to put together a movie. Like a full-on, really good movie called Serenity.
It was.
That sort of wrapped things up. And then that was all she wrote. They did some comics, they did some novels. They have been teasing for weeks now. Nathan Fillion specifically has been going around to all his castmates, doing little videos of them.
TikToks of knocking on the doors of
whatever Trillo they're in.
Jewel State and Alan Tudyk and all the other people.
Did you watch any of these? I did.
I watched some of them, yes. It's fun. Like, there's a lot of sort of kind of comedic acting. Like, Nathan Fillion, when I saw the Jewel State one first, he like knocks on the door, opens it up, it's her, and she's like, howdy there, Captain Tight Pants, or something like that. And, he's like, Jewel? And he's like, and I think she's kind of like, it's very nebulous, but sort of she'd say something like, "We doing this?" And he's like, "Maybe." And then he kind of like raises like a little eyebrow, like, "You know what I'm talking about?" Mm-hmm. And she kind of smiles, and she's like, "Shiny." And then they like stare at each other, and it kind of like lingers Family Guy style too long, and they're both kind of like, almost have these quirky looks like, is the camera still on us? And then like that's it, and you don't know what they're talking about.
People were doing all kinds of speculating, like, oh, it'd just be a podcast or a reunion panel,
right? Or they're going to do a cruise ship with all of the actors.
I think Nathan Fillion loves this character.
Absolutely, he does.
And I know in Castle he actually utilizes the costume.
He does.
As
his daughter's costume. Like, "Dad, you were a space captain last year." He's like, "I still like this costume."
Yes.
Anyway, the reveal on Sunday. Time to help solve the wounds from Buffy a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
My conspiracy theory is that the executive who canceled Buffy knew this was coming, because how could you not? You know, we all knew this is coming to some extent. He was like, they'll be so happy about Firefly, they'll stop caring about Buffy. I don't think that's true. I think that band member find a quiet place to live, because the Buffy fans will find him. He'll get slayed. But the reveal that in this really good Instagram video featuring all of them is that they are going to do a Firefly animated series with all the original voices.
Yeah.
Which I honestly think is the best way to do it. They're all a little older. They all look a lot older.
Right. We realized that it'd be kind of like, you kind of could imagine these people traveling together, more or less all the same group for a few years.
Yeah.
If it was 20 years, or they had to get better, sad. It becomes super pathetic.
Yeah.
Because they all had their own goals and stuff, and if they didn't get to go off and do them or whatever, it's just kind of weird.
Now, that said, if this animated series does somehow lead to a final movie that shows them 20 years later, one last heist style, I'd be all about it.
I think a movie would be good for that.
Well, a lot of these cast members, they have like...
Everybody's busy. Marina Baccarin has a show. Jewel Staite has a show. Nathan Fillion definitely has a show. Adam Baldwin, for some reason, isn't working. Alan Tudyk is very busy.
And I guess what we know is...
If you've watched any animated film.
This show will be set in the past.
Yes.
Yes, Alan Tudyk does the voice of every character.
He does voice
in every cartoon.
10 different voices in every
Between Firefly Season 1 and Serenity, the movie.
Okay, so that is, which is a very good time. Some of the comics covered that time.
I mean, unless they decide to do, we don't really know. They could do post Serenity and have flashbacks to have Alan Tudyk in it.
Right.
At any rate,
but in the video, Nathan Fillion walks you through. He's like, we have an animation house, we have a writer,
and it's a really good animation house.
Yeah.
The showrunners are Tara Butters and Mark Guggenheim, the Googster, as we call him. Cool. Didn't know those two were married. They met and married on the set of Firefly.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Tara
Butters, are from the original show.
Tara Butters ran Agent Carter.
Yeah,
and something else notable.
That's
in the video. You can see them talking about
pedigree.
This. Mark Guggenheim ran Arrow and Flash.
Yep.
They have written a script. They have a script. They have the showrunners. They have an animation studio that is Emmy and Oscar nominated. They have all the cast. They have Joss Whedon's blessing, which I wish Fillion hadn't gone out of his way to say it, but I understand.
I think it's important to have him mentioned in there.
She produced Gen V. And the show Reaper.
Oh, those are all really good shows.
I thought so too.
You know, Joss Whedon, for all that he was kind of revealed to be like a cheating kind of power-mongering creep.
He ain't a trumper.
What's that?
He ain't a trumper.
He ain't a trumper.
Unfortunately, Adam Baldwin is.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of people doing the no Firefly ever because of Whedon, because of Baldwin. Why'd they have to get Baldwin involved? And you know what? Know where I'm at on this right now. Y'all know me. I'm not quiet on this kind of thing where I feel like I'm politics, but man, I think maybe we need to not worry so much about every single Adam Baldwin. He was responsible for naming Gamergate. He did some rotten shit.
Yeah.
But him voicing a character that we all loved, I think we can let that one go. I don't think that's hurting the cause.
Right. There's also something to be said for the internet era just makes everybody more known.
Yeah.
And there was, I know, sometimes it's good because, yes, you should face the consequences of your actions.
Sure,
things like that.
Absolutely.
I'm glad that people are videotaping police brutality and revealing it and things like that. But sometimes we don't necessarily need to know so much about everybody who creates things that we like that we have to start torching all the things that we like.
The first thing I saw from someone that just got me so annoyed, someone posted about this and they were excited, and some dude showed up in her comments he had a Star Trek avatar, like he was a guy, he was in his Star Trek uniform.
Yeah.
And he's basically like, never, I hope they burn it. I hate Firefly because of Whedon and Baldwin. And I didn't start any fights with him, so be proud of me. Yeah. But I wanted to go in there like, dude, do you know who's in charge of Star Trek right now?
Yeah.
And have you checked in on William Shatner's politics? Like, a friend of mine, someone who's a voice actress and a writer, she said, she's like, your faves are all problematic. Everybody's problematic. You can enjoy things. Everything doesn't have to be a war. And so I'm like, you know what? Seeing this video actually got me like emotionally affected me.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I remember seeing Serenity in the theater where Whedon did the intro about he called back to we have done the impossible and that makes us mighty.
Yeah.
And he was talking about the fans getting a Serenity movie made, which is amazing.
Right.
And so we got a movie made of this thing that got canceled.
Right.
And it's just gotten bigger and bigger. And absolutely, I think we can get an animation studio. They need a home. They need a streaming service.
It is they've got the package as well done as they can, and it's just kind of like
somebody needs to fund it.
Finding a home, yeah.
Hulu has some money laying around because they didn't run with the Buffy show. I think it's very likely this happens.
Yeah.
I hope it does. I would like to see it.
There's been some fantastic animation lately. Mm-hmm. Honestly, whether you're talking about like the various Star Wars stuff, they've been really some of the front runners. But, on Netflix, you got K-pop Demon Hunters, at like the upper echelon. There's, what was that one that's based on the League of Legends stuff? What was that called? Arcane.
Arcane.
You got Arcane. You got, even traditional animation shows. I know this isn't new, but, She-Ra and stuff like that have been really good. There's some great stories to be told in animation, and with the whole voice cast there.
Yeah.
If it's set before the movie, then what's his name? The priest. Shepherd Book could be alive.
They'd have to recast.
They're going to have to recast.
And I don't think they're going to. I think they want to stay away from that.
I think they should.
I think they should too, but I don't think they're going to.
Okay. I wouldn't be mad if they did.
Because Book is off doing his own thing.
That's true. There's times when he's just off the ship.
They don't have to use him. I would like them to recast and have Book in the show.
I was recalling because they did this Babylon 5 animated movie a few years back.
Which half that cast is dead.
While not great, was pretty good. They got some good sound-alikes.
Yeah.
They really were pretty well cast.
Yeah.
And so, it can be done.
Yeah. All right, let's take another quick break, and then we will come back and talk about movies and TV and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so this last weekend, I was, this last week, from Tuesday through Sunday, I was at Dice Tower West in Las Vegas. This is
mythical town. Yes.
A mythical desert. Dice Tower West is a board game convention by the people who do Dice Tower, which is an online YouTube series. This is my third year going, and it's always a good time. My favorite board game con is BGG Con in Dallas. This is my second favorite. It is basically a lot of playing board games. There's a small dealer room, but mostly you go and you play people's demos. You go through the library and play games. They have what's called the Hot Games Room, which is usually about 20, 25 games that are new or about to come out, Kickstarter versions, that kind of thing. And I have a couple friends out there who I hook up with playing games. And so I went and played 16 games, 13 of which were new to me.
That's a lot. That's good. That's good.
Were they all in that hot room?
No. In fact, only a couple of them were because it was hard to get to them. So as I was in line checking in on Tuesday night, I look ahead of me and I see this dude and I'm like, do I know this dude from the board game conventions? And I'm like, or do I know him because he's famous? And then I realized it's Chris Grace, who is on Dropout TV. In fact, he's been on some of their board game episodes. Parlor Room.
Okay.
And so he was waiting for somebody to show up, so I get the line. He's sending people ahead of him. And I wasn't going to say anything, but I got right next to him as I'm waiting to go, and I said, hey, I like your work on Dropout. He's also been in, Superstore and some other stuff. People would know him.
Yeah.
But, and he was super nice. We got to talking about me owning a comic and game store. He's from Houston, so when he found out I was from Austin, we talked a little about Texas stuff. And he may drop in here in April. If he remembers the name. Yeah, so he was like, yeah, let's play some games. I'm like, sure. Never saw the guy again the rest of the show.
Yeah.
But very nice guy. But that's kind of a fun thing to kick things off. And then I played a bunch of games with my friend Carol. and some of her friends, and had a game group with me most of the week. So I'm going to tell you about my favorite games, and especially the ones that we can sell.
Okay.
My favorite game was a game called Wondrous Museum, which is a deck builder about curating a fantasy museum. It is from a company in China. It is not in distribution. Okay. I cannot find it anywhere. I managed to find a copy for myself, but we can't sell it.
Randy, I thought you said you were going to tell us the ones that we can sell.
I'm gonna, but my favorite game I can't get.
Let's do it. Say, what is the name of it?
It's called Wondrous Museum. Yeah. It's a fun little deck builder.
That's a cool premise.
Yeah, it's got space-based size little thin cards, and you sort of build you build an engine. Sort of.
You say fantasy museum? Do you mean like dragons and stuff?
Yeah. Dragons. Okay. They had plants and fantasy weapons and that kind of stuff.
Okay, that's very cool.
The second favorite is a game we did get, and that's Estate Raise the Realm, which I talked about earlier.
Right, yep.
My third favorite game, and not just because I won it, is called Jisogi. That's Jisogi, Anime Studio Tycoon. Okay. This is a Kickstarter game from Japan. It is English translated. I went... on the second turn of this game, I went and backed a late Kickstarter so I can get a copy of it.
Wow.
And I had to pay in yen. Like, that is how... it is a Japanese company. I don't know when or if it will come to proper distribution, but...
You don't even know how much you actually paid for it.
I do know how much I paid for it. I did know that going in. But it's got really beautiful art. It's got these foil cards. So...
Sorry, you're like an animation studio?
You are all playing anime studios that are sort of on their last legs, or you have 4 cards representing your staff.
Yeah.
You've got a director, a producer, a writer, and an artist, and they're all what's called dead inside. So they've got these sort of pictures of them with like ghosts coming out and that kind of stuff. And you have no money, and you basically have a pool of...
This is like kind of a slightly like spoofing like the intensity, though. Like we know these can be like real high demand.
You have a pool of cards that are other talent.
Yep.
Where you can replace your dead inside, or you promote your dead inside people to be these new guys.
Yeah.
Or you can bring in new ones if you get more worker tokens for them. You have big premise cards that are nice shiny foil with really gorgeous art. That is like the 3 we started with. It's like the passing trend, the current trend, and the future trend. And they have little markers for their genre. And if you match all 3 genre markers, you get a bonus.
Okay.
If you're the first one to do it. If you're the second one, you don't get the bonus because you're following the trend.
Right. That's pretty clever.
But there was like detective, period drama. There was one that was like murder mystery. There was one that was sci-fi something. They all have there's like 20 different cards. And as well as that, you have these little cards you're getting that are the plot, I forget what it's a plot, a twist, and something else.
Okay.
And you have to put those 3 things together, and each of those has a genre on them. And you put that together, and then when you make your anime, hopefully 1 per turn, you have 4 turns. What we were doing was sort of a house rule where basically you have to explain what your anime is.
Yeah.
So mine had a giant robot that was wrecking a city, that was doing something, and it turned out that it was a virtual world, and I decided that it was basically my last dead inside worker, a director, who was expressing his frustration that revealed that basically he was a manga director who had lost his mind and would go to this virtual world and destroy the city with his giant robots.
That's pretty good.
It's really fun, really, really good art. There's you make money from like merchandising.
Yep.
You hire people. You do hype things to get more money. You can go into debt. It's a very fun work.
Randy, I can go into debt in real life. I don't need a game for it.
It was super fun.
Yeah, that sounds great.
I ordered myself a copy of that one as well. A game that we've had for a long time, I wanted to play this for 2 years, is Sky Team.
Oh yeah.
2-player, one use pilot, one is co-pilot. You have 4 dice each. You have to, on this board, you have to basically keep your plane level, your speed with a certain thing by matching dice. Put down your flaps if you're the co-pilot. Put down your landing gear if you're the pilot. You have to do all this in like 6 or 8 rounds. Yep. You have to clear planes off the runway by communicating with them. All these require dice. You get 4 dice per turn.
Yep.
You have like 7 or 8 turns. If you don't do something right, you will crash.
Yep.
And you cannot communicate. You can't talk. You can't make faces about, oh no, that's terrible. So you have to you put a dice down. You hope the other guy reads what you're doing and matches.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
Yeah. And not frustrating?
No, I was worried it might be frustrating. And it's actually also it's a super high learning curve. If you're a 2-player game player, this is a great game to have.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed this.
It didn't have a super high learning curve?
No, the learning curve's really easy. It was a real quick play.
But it does seem like, you told me how you can be getting a lot of things right, but like when you kind of get one thing right, it might make another thing's number vary a little bit, like you have to adjust something.
What I said, Dave, was that we came in twice, perfectly at speed, landing gear down, flaps down. If it was not for that damn plane on the runway, we would have landed perfectly. We, in fact, did. We landed at speed perfectly and crashed right into another plane.
The landing was perfect.
The landing was perfect. I say that we won twice.
The landing strip.
Yes, the landing strip was not clear, and we did, in fact, kill 2 planes with the people. But otherwise, we won the game twice.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. It's a great fun. And there's an expansion, which adds more rules and also more settings. It starts at like the Montreal airport, but there's tons of different airports and things to go on. So, a blast. I'll just real quick mention another game. I played a game named Oliva that's a deck builder about olive oil production in the 50s and 60s. Really fun.
So specific.
These always have like
that is the nature.
We always talk about themes not being as important as gameplay.
100%. But I also do appreciate sometimes the weirdness.
Yeah. Got a little party games called Book Club and Movie Club where you're trying to guess movies and books with cards that make you further narrow down your scope.
Okay.
Really fun party games.
I heard you talking about this earlier, and that sounded really cool.
I finally put a game called Hot Streak that we've been sold out of forever. I'm hoping we'll come back in.
That's the one with dueling mascots.
It's like sports team mascots, and they race. You get cards, and you each put cards in the deck, and then you bet on which mascots are going to make the win. Like, is this mascot going to be first, second, or third? And will one of them? They've got side bets like, will one of them be prone at the end of this? Because they fall down on each other, and they fall, and they run the wrong way, and all this kind of stuff, because the cards might turn them around. And so you get this deck that is the race deck, and then you play it, and you're rooting for these weird little mascots to do things that the card deck is going to tell them to do. It's super fun, really quick between games, great aesthetics. It's like a hot dog and a queen, and I forget what the other two. It's like little plastic miniatures of that are the characters. Great fun. I would recommend that one. A game we should be getting in next week called Aquaria, which is about building and balancing your aquarium. Okay. You buy fish. You have little dials that adjust the dial mechanic is really neat. That adjust various things. You feed them different fish food. You get points if you put anemones and clownfish together. You get discounts because clownfish, anemones. You get points for putting schools. It's sort of a pattern builder, but it's also a resource builder. Really fun, really pretty. Like that one a lot. A game called Scarab Bray that we have that is a game about early Scottish settlers. It's the same people that do the Architects of the West Kingdoms or whatever. Yeah. That whole series.
Right.
They've got another series.
They're known for really good games.
Yeah, this is one of theirs. And a game called Black Forest that I don't think we have. That's a UA Rosenberg.
One of the great designers.
Yep. I also did play another round of Sanctuary, which is the tile-based version of Ark Nova, the zoo building game, which I played at my house a couple weeks ago and really enjoyed. I think it is a better version of Ark Nova. Plays a little faster, easier to teach, and we do have that one as well.
What's it called?
It's called Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
And Origin Story, the superhero trick taker, which I also played at BGG Con, and we also have, which I really liked. And the other thing I played a couple other things, but there's a demo of a game called Cola Wars that is set in the 80s. You're a soda
Coke
company.
Pepsi Wars days.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are four soda companies competing for market share, advertising. It's like card buying, and there's also dice. The dice tower is a little 3D Coke machine where you press the button to roll the dice. That alone would cause me to buy it. It's Kickstarter only. I asked them about retail. They don't have any intent to go to retail. But if that sounds good to you, check it out. Cola Wars. It was a fun game. I thought that was a really good game.
Yep.
And it comes
you can also theme that up too.
It comes in a retro style box, like Monopoly style 80s. Yeah. Like it looks like a retro game, but it is in fact a new game.
That's pretty cool.
Also, just for the record, went to Momofuku, which is a really good restaurant, and went to a Star Wars themed burlesque show called The Empire Strips Back, which was amazing at the Rio Casino.
Yeah, what you told me about it sounded pretty great.
It was. I mean, the costumes, the dancing, it was really impressive. So yeah, that's Dice Tower West for me. Dave, you saw Hopper.
Yep.
Hoppers.
Yes. As you know, I don't catch a ton of animation. I like animation when I catch it, but it's like a sometimes food for me.
Yes.
And I honestly, from the trailers to this, I wasn't like super hyped for it. It looked fun, but that's all. But I think it was. I had heard something about like one of its thematics being about like sort of not quite collective bargaining, but unions and things like that, but like something like that.
Yeah.
And that proved to be true. And so this is a Pixar movie through Disney. I don't know how they all work together now, but it's set in the present, and it follows a college-age girl, although you also see her when she's a little younger at first, named Mabel, who lives in the city of Beaverton.
Sure.
So
Beavertown.
Yeah, Beaverton?
Beavertown.
Not Beavertown. That's the video you rented. Anyway, it's and she's kind of she's like an environmental activist, and she's kind of always been like a hothead throughout her life. You see her when she's a kid. She has trouble kind of like kind of reining it in. But she had a grandmother she really connected with, who lived on near this forest glade, and she would kind of go out there, and her grandmother was kind of meditative about it, and it would help calm her down.
Okay.
So you cut to the present then, and she's kind of carried those lessons, but she's still a hothead, and she is kind of constantly, whenever she sees the mayor of the small town, getting into it with him. He's like big business and industry guy. They're about to put like a new a highway that's going to pass through here, and in fact the glade is already kind of like emptied out, and so this is depressing and angering, cause a lot of depression and anger for Mabel, and in her college courses where she's kind of struggling because she kind of neglects her school stuff a little bit. She does have a professor, though, who is working with some experimental technology, which is the crux of the story. This is a sort of to investigate the animal kingdom and kind of better study them. They have basically this avatar-type tech where there's little robots that look completely lifelike of, say, a beaver, that you can, you sit in like a little chair, put on this kind of VR helmet, cast your mind into it, hopping. That's why it's called That is why it's called hoppers.
I thought it was because of hopping.
Nope. No frogs and hoppers and things like that. Is you hop into their bodies.
Okay.
In fact, they even make a joke. She says it at some point when she's learning about it, she's like, "Oh, just like Avatar." And the professor is like, "It's not like Avatar." And she makes some she's like, "No, we do this and not that." But I think they were aware of the comparison.
Yep.
But it is, of course, nothing like Avatar. What happens is Mabel is there would be sort of regulations against them building the highway if the animals were still sticking around in the glade and hadn't been kind of driven out in advance.
Okay.
And so she's like, if I could get in there in the next couple of days, you got this timeline looming over her when they're going to start construction. If I could get in there in the beaver robot and talk to the other beavers and get even one family to come back and start re-nesting and damming up the area, then that might stop the construction. So she tries just that. She sneaks in. The professor does not like letting people use this technology, so she has to sneak in and do it. The movie really kicks into hard when she does that, and basically you can hear all the animals talking now.
Okay.
And it's just kind of like Finding Nemo or any other one where you see, here's how the forest works. They have a council. They have different energy coming. There's an avian group. There's an amphibian group.
All right.
There's the mammal group, which is what she's into, and a very memorable king of the beavers, King George. He's a great character, and this movie, when it's not very heartfelt, is also incredibly hilarious. I think it's a big winner. I did not quite know where it was going to go. There is dissent among the animals over what to do. There is anger and violence threatened over some of it.
Okay.
There's some funny, really dark humor that I heard the audience audibly gasp at one point when something very dark happens, but also hilarious.
Okay.
But yes, she is trying to get them all on the same page to help her out, and there's a little bit more of the we should squash the humans when she accidentally rallies them too hard. So it's kind of about trying to find some sort of balance between these two perspectives. At the same time, there are other people trying to stop her from the college.
Yep.
There's a few other people hop in, and they're trying to use things to hey, you're not supposed to be out here. You're not supposed to be doing this. There's the dissent with the animals, and it builds to a pretty great climactic bit of insanity. I would easily recommend Hoppers.
I'm definitely going to give this a shot.
As a minor thing, they do not call attention to it, and I understand kind of why in this environment you wouldn't, but Mabel kind of has non-binary energy. She's got kind of like a butch haircut, just kind of a messy butch haircut, and, romance isn't a part of this thing, so it's not like it's talked about, but she and her grandmother both gave off either sort of a little bit gay or non-binary energy.
Yeah.
In a way that's just kind of quietly there, and I thought was really well done.
Okay.
I forget who all the various voice casting is.
I know it's got some good voices.
I know there's some really good voice cast stuff in there.
Yeah, it looks like John Hamm and...
a couple of good needle drops in there, too. John Hamm is the mayor, I believe, who is a major character in it.
Mayor Jerry.
Yep. And...
Bobby Monahan plays King George.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yes, as King George, an optimistic beaver monarch, and the Mammal King.
The Mammal King.
Anyway, y'all, even if you like the trailers, didn't do a lot for you, give Hoppers a try. It's really fun.
Cool. Yeah, because the trailers didn't do much for me, and I was thinking...
And I was also, very much okay, nobody in the theater, look right now, I got tears in my eyes multiple times.
Dave, remind me, did you ever watch Wild Robot?
No, I know I should probably
I think if you like this, you would like Wild Robot.
Yeah, I suspect I would.
I wanted to mention I read a book that we got.
Accidentally, right?
Accidentally, yes.
Like this through the store.
The store was just called Out of the Loop.
Yeah.
It grabbed my attention just because the premise was really good. I'm going to look it up because I want to.
I do remember when you were telling me about it. I was like, oh, for an Oops book, that sounds pretty interesting.
So it is by a writer named Katie Siegel. And they did a couple of amateur detective novels.
Yeah.
This is a sci-fi detective novel. It's the story. Amy Teller has been stuck in a time loop for 2 years. She wakes up. It's September 17th, and then
you and your time loops.
This begins on September 18th when the time loop is ended. She doesn't know why, and she finds out that her neighbor. A neighbor nobody likes, by the way, was a bookseller who was very obnoxious, was murdered the day before. And Amy's like, was that what the time loop was happening? Was I supposed to stop the murder? And finally the time loop gave up on me. And so she and her older neighbor, who is a retired guy who builds elaborate Rube Goldberg machines in his apartment, she convinces him that she's in a time loop, so he helps her out. And her ex-girlfriend, who the day of the time loop, she had a friend-date reunion after they'd been broken up for several months, where they were going to try and be friends. And so she went on that date hundreds of times. And she still has feelings for her ex, and her ex kind of has feelings for her. And they're kind of they wind up working as amateur detectives on this case. And looking into who killed this bookseller, that the bookstore is connected to a coffee shop that she goes to. And so it's a murder mystery about but it's also this little small community that she starts talking to people and figuring out what's going on. But it's also about her and her relationship with her ex, her relationship with this older guy who is almost a father figure for her. And it's about sort of her becoming a little nuts inside the time loop and having to readjust to real life. It's very cute. It's very funny. And it's a very satisfying story.
Okay.
It was a quick read. I read it on the plane from here to Vegas. On the 2 planes I took, I guess, because there was a connection. That's part of why I had time to read it. We have an extra copy. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, oh, I should read that. Just come in and ask. We'll give you a copy. First come, first serve. But yeah, I really dug it, and I would recommend it. It's called Out of the Loop by Katie Siegel.
Nice surprise. That's cool.
I was going to quick mention a show that Nick and I both watched and have different takes on.
Yes.
There's a show called R.J. Decker.
Yes.
It's an ABC show about a guy who was a news photographer. He beat somebody up
on the worst day of his life.
On the worst day of his life, because he was getting divorced, I think.
Yeah, there were definitely some kind of other things happening in his life.
But he beat this guy up, and then he goes to jail for assault for 2 years.
Yes.
And when he comes back out, he decides to become a private detective. Find out that his ex-wife, who was a journalist, who was working at the same paper as him,
yep.
Because he's a photojournalist, I don't know if I mentioned that. She is married to a cop, a woman. So his wife left him for another woman.
She's like a detective.
She's a detective. She does not like him.
Nope, not really.
He and his wife have a daughter.
Yep.
And also, there was a woman who slept with him who got him to talk about this case, and turns out to have been the brother or the sister of the guy he beat up and got him thrown in jail.
Okay.
And so she is like, because of feeling guilty about sort of setting him up, she is serving as sort of a source of his. She's politically connected. She's a lawyer. And this cop is like also, because he's still part of her extended family, she agrees to help him a little bit. So he has like a cop friend. He has a lawyer friend. And his buddy, who was his old cellmate, got out of jail and bought a lottery ticket and won $1 million and like opened a bar. And he basically, this guy, R.J. Decker, he thinks basically if that guy had not helped him, or he sent him to jail or whatever he did, somehow the chain of events was like RJ is the reason he bought a lottery ticket instead of not buying a lottery ticket. So they're friends.
Yeah. Okay.
So he's got like a bar owner, ex-con buddy. And he is a basically sort of unlicensed private detective in South Florida. It's in, is it Jacksonville? Like the weirdest part of Florida. So it's definitely about like weird Florida shit too. Uh-huh. The second episode involves a Venus flytrap farm, which is apparently a bootleg operation.
Sure.
And a murder and some other stuff. It's sort of wacky detective stuff.
Okay.
I like PIs from Magnum to Rockford Files to my favorite show Terriers. So I'm a pretty easy sucker for this. It is clumsily written. It is some of the most obvious writing you've ever seen.
I think that's what
it feels very networky procedural to me.
I don't mind a procedural. In fact, I actually
know you do. I don't usually like
procedural.
Yeah.
This one just felt like it was trying to do way too much.
Yeah.
It's a little clunky. Scott Speedman is not a good actor.
Scott Speedman he's the handsome dude who's at the center of it. And yeah, he's not great.
I remember him from the movie Underworld.
Yes,
that was like one of his big things. And
but for me, the stuff I like about it overwhelms stuff I don't like about it.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you're gonna have to check it out for yourself and see if this hits your particular. It's not a favorite show of mine, but I am enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, you don't watch a lot of network television.
I don't.
Either.
No, I don't.
So it's interesting to see you come onto one.
You need a PI. I'm not going to watch your cop show, your lawyer show, your doctor show, but I will watch your PI show. You found the genre for me.
I don't think I'll ever watch another doctor show after watching The Pit.
Yeah,
it is like
I want to go back to The Pit at some point.
It's hard to watch.
I like Scrubs. I know you're not a Scrubs guy. Yeah. The Scrubs reunions.
Those are
really
two very different Doctor shows.
Yes.
Yeah, The Pit is just like, oh my god.
There's also a new show, Rooster.
Yes.
That's from Bill Lawrence, who did Scrubs, Ted Lasso, Shrinking. This is Steve Carell. He writes sort of airport novels about.
Kind of like. A chauvinist a little bit.
Yeah, but his guy is named Rooster, right?
Yes, and he's kind of living out some fantasies that he never got to do,
right? Because he's this nebbishy intellectual type guy,
and he's
very Steve Carell.
A little bit, but it's not Steve Carell from The Office.
No, but it's Steve Carell from 40-Year-Old Virgin. To me, this felt like Steve Carell doing a Steve Carell bit.
Oh, and I didn't get that. I felt it was kind of genuine.
But his adult daughter, is teaching at this college, this small college.
Yep, who's going through a massive breakup with a boyfriend.
Husband. Because her husband, played by the guy who played Jamie Tart, slept with a graduate student. In fact, is still sleeping with her.
Yes.
But also maybe wants her back?
Yeah, that was a little weird. And he's basically come for a visit, and the dean, played by Dr. Cox,
yes,
asks him if you ever want a job as kind of a guest lecturer or a teacher, let me know.
And in the pilot, it's like, well, he doesn't really want to do that.
No.
But then his daughter accidentally burns down the house that she lived in with this guy.
Yeah.
And I think in order to save her job, he's going to have to take the job.
Yes. I was kind of taken with it because it was... dealing with life stuff, and it was very low stakes.
It
was executed in a way that I thought was fun.
It was cute. I didn't laugh very much.
Oh, really?
In the first episode.
I did.
And I don't know that I love any of the characters. I want Ted Lasso or Shrinking. I want to love these characters, and I don't yet.
I think it's okay to have a little bit of a different speed because comparing to those two shows are kind of the best at what they do.
I know. I want another third best at what they do.
But you want
the best at what they do in the same way.
I think I've seen Lawrence do a lot of shows, and I thought this one didn't read like one of his shows in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that as it goes on, it will. I'm going to keep giving it a shot. I like his shows.
I know there's 2 episodes. I need to watch the second episode.
I haven't watched the second one yet either. But it's on HBO Max. and I'm never entirely sure I trust HBO Max anymore with Zaslav in charge of it.
It's true.
That said,
who knows what's going to happen to it?
The other show I watched was also an HBO Max show. It was an old one from last year that you were talking about, and I had passed on it because I just it seemed a little dark. I don't always want to watch cop shows anymore. But the show is called Task, and it is set in, where is it?
I was going to look that up because I was trying to remember.
It's not like Connecticut, but it's somewhere. It's like it is somewhere. It's a small town kind of thing.
It's like East Coast town kind
of. East Coast. So it's by the guy who did the showrunner of Mayor of Easttown, which this is not as dark as that. It is dark.
It's dark.
But so basically it is about Mark Ruffalo is playing a guy, and he's an older guy. He's closing in on 60. He is working for the FBI at like job fairs, like trying to get people to join the FBI. But he used to be a field agent, and he is called back by his old boss to run a task force.
Played by Martha Plimpton.
Martha Plimpton's his boss. She's great. And the task force has like a detective, a county detective, a city cop,
a sheriff,
and a sheriff.
Yeah, it's kind of like a joint task force.
It's a ragtag. It's like four people. They're all younger.
And they're kind of not rejects, but
they're underfunded.
Yeah.
They're in a house that smells as their operation.
Yep.
They're looking into. There have been home invasions going on of a biker gang. People are hitting their stash houses in their homes, and we'll come to find out there's a history with this biker gang. And what I found interesting about this is not only do we follow the task force and their lives, and not just their cop lives, but their personal lives, we also follow the guy who is like the head of the crew running operations, and his family, and the biker gang, and how they all interact. And there's a lot of characters. It reminds me a little of what Heat did, where it explored the criminals and the crooks the same way.
Well, and because everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're a crook or a crook.
Well, and the story with Mark Ruffalo is really tragic. He was a former priest who became a detective after he met and married his wife, who was working at like hospital grease counseling.
Yep.
They adopted kids, one of whom had severe mental difficulties, and killed his wife.
Yeah.
And so the kid is coming up for release from prison, and they're not all sure how to deal with it. And the kid has a sister who lives with them, and she's kind of conflicted about the whole thing. And then he has a daughter who now is an adult and has a baby, and his sister to this adopted kid, and there's some friction there. There's a lot of really interesting family dynamics. The guy who heads up the crew, his brother was killed by the biker gang, and he now lives with his niece, who is like 18, 19, I think, and is
kids.
And is helping raise the two kids that he had with his wife.
It feels real.
It does. It
feels very real.
It also builds like episode 7, I think, 7 or 8, whatever the penultimate episode was, has
7.
Everything sort of culminates in this sort of big sting gunfight gone wrong. And it is one of the most real and gritty gunfights I've seen outside of like Heat or True Detective.
There's a sequence with the home invasion guy in the back of a car with a gun to Mark Ruffalo's head as he's like driving out to the middle of nowhere.
Yep.
And it is just sort of this tense 5-minute scene of you're like, is he about to just kill Mark Ruffalo?
But also the way they interact again. I'm going to call back to Heat. It's like when Pacino and De Niro in that diner.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, anybody who likes Heat, which should be everybody, should check out Task, because it's not on the same level. That's asking a lot. But it is really good.
It's tense.
I might take a peek at that. Where's the stream?
HBO Max. It's just an 8-episode show, right? 7-episode show. Okay, so it's episode 6.
How many seasons?
One. Just one.
It was just a one and done. He only really does done in one.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I would also suggest watching Mayor of Easttown or giving it a bigger shot.
Yeah.
I really love that show.
Okay.
And so?
Anything else?
Don't watch Scarpetta on Amazon Prime. Jesus Christ.
Okay.
I love Nicole Kidman, but man.
Fair.
What's wrong with it? I don't know what it is. But...
Did you ever read or watch the Patricia Cornwell novels? She's like a.
I know who that
back
is.
in the day, she was like one of the kind of quintessential.
Jane for Justice and all that kind of thing?
I believe so.
Okay.
But they're adapting one of her novels, and Scarpetta is a kind of a medical examiner, and they make it so convoluted, and like they split up 2 different timelines and try to string them together. I was just like, you made a simple murder plot the hardest freaking thing.
Oh,
and I just was. It had such a great cast. Nicole Kidman, Bobby Cannavale. It has Jamie Lee Curtis. Mm-hmm. They shelled out, man. They did. Yeah. And it was one of the most boring things I've watched in a while.
Okay.
So, yeah. Sorry. To be a negative Nelly.
No, it's good. We'll end on this ominous note.
I pressed play and I was sad.
Avoid it.
Avoid it. All right. That'll do it for us. We'll be back next week with more. Until that time, yo, Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.